Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Co-Optional Podcast. It is the 6th of January 2015. We're in the future now. So one could say we've gone back to it.
I don't get it.
No.
No, I'm gonna... No.
I just thought it was a very relevant kind of hip reference to the kids. So
Hoverboards, am I right?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Also, you hear about that new upcoming artist, Paul McCartney, that's, collabed with Kanye. He's really going to blow up now.
Kanye.
Yes.
Nope.
Sorry.
I don't know who this person is.
Oh.
Nope.
Do you know who Paul McCartney is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. But you're half right. You got half.
This Kanye fellow, I'm not sure. Can he? I mean, I don't know. Can he? It's possible.
Can he?
But I'm going to reserve judgment until he proves that he can.
Nope.
Indeed.
Jesse, not even gonna touch it. Not gonna touch it.
I'm not even gonna let you do this. I'm not gonna let you do this. Nope. Not even gonna let you start that way.
Are you suggesting we're breaking the internet, Jesse? Is that how it's gonna be?
God damn you.
You thought you left it all behind in 2014. You were so sadly mistaken, I'm afraid.
You leave nothing behind. Years are arbitrary.
Yes.
They're
years
created in our minds.
There's a societal construct.
Yes.
They are.
This
Our
is
special
a deeper
guest today.
podcast than I thought it would be.
Yeah, a little bit. Our special guest today is also a societal construct. His name is Daniel Hardcastle, a.k.a. Official NerdCubed. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. How are we? Are we all well?
We're Orwellian.
I was far too excited on the well. The rest of it, very good. But then all of a sudden you got a burst of energy and I'm not.
It's like,
hey,
I'm here.
If you're making aware that enthusiasm costs lives, you want to be a little bit careful.
Trias, this is a marathon. This ain't no short thing. This is a marathon.
Oh no, this is 3 hours of bullshit.
Yeah.
We need you at hour 3 to be just when you say your wells, just like wow, save it.
And the rest of us is asleep at that point. Like, oh god, why will this end?
Run the damn thing. I'll try.
Time flies on this show, man. Everyone's always said that. It's like, I didn't feel like 3 hours at all. It's like, yes, because you were drugged in the middle of it and completely forgot what was going on. You were a puppet for our will for a few hours. It was great. Oh, man. All right, welcome to the Co-Optional Podcast. We do occasionally talk about video games. This is the first show of 2015, and I hope I speak for everyone when I say that 2015 is going to be less rubbish than 2014 in every way, right?
Sure.
Yes.
Strongly disagree.
Oh, God.
The rubbish can only intensify.
The rubbish will only build. You don't get rid of the rubbish. You just sort of forget that it's there.
It's a landfill.
And then
you
a
bury
pile,
it beneath the surface.
It builds. Yeah.
And then eventually Emergence Day happens. Everyone pops out, and suddenly we all get horribly murdered by locusts.
Emergence?
I'm pretty sure that was the plot of Gears of War, right? They were really annoyed at the landfills, and then eventually they decided to get their own back. Yeah? Those lovable scamps.
But that wasn't Earth. Spoilers. Oh, spoilers. That wasn't Earth.
I don't think that really counts as a spoiler.
Spoilers. We took over their planet, man. Humankind can't be stopped, man.
I'm pretty sure that was written in the manual, wasn't it?
Somewhere on the internet, some guy's like, what? What?
I was totally gonna start those games today.
What?
Gears of War is super relevant in 2015, guys. Absolutely.
It's a new year, a new me.
It is. Oh, man. So, coming up in the show, we'll be talking about the games we've been playing this week, which may or may not last an hour or two. We just don't know. After that, we'll be talking about news, assuming there is any. Spoilers, there really isn't. Come on, it's January. What the hell did you expect to happen? CES is happening, but as of yet, there's not really been too many interesting things coming out of that yet. But then we'll talk about new releases, and then we'll tell you to go to our YouTube channel so that we can get views and live, and then we will end the show. And that will be the show.
Yeah.
Yay.
And it'll be 10 minutes long.
It will.
Looking forward.
Yeah, we are known for being particularly fantastic when it comes to our brevity, aren't we?
That is, yeah. Every time you ask a question, this is essay questions. Most other podcasts is just sort of like the one-line question, then you answer it. This is worth 7 marks.
Yes.
This podcast.
You
That's what I'm feeling.
got to show you're working as well.
Yeah.
Otherwise you don't get anywhere
man.
with it. Get on the side. Doesn't matter if you're
Grown-up
right. You've got to
podcast.
tell me why you're right.
Yeah. And with diagrams. I have a whiteboard just in case.
Oh, fantastic. That's good.
Phew.
It's always good to have
Necessary.
props. We usually have a part of the show where we show random shit that we got. And, I suppose a whiteboard counts. That's You can write things on it. It's
I am
customizable.
curious, though. I am curious what the posters are behind you, Dan. I'm not gonna lie.
That is the GTA 5 map
Okay.
in blueprint form, and that is a poster for Back to the Future, I believe.
What?
Relevant.
Full circle. Full
He
circle.
planned
All
it.
came
He
together.
planned
The
it.
Lego DeLorean up there. We may see that at some point. Ooh, drama. Now there's tension. Will we see it? I'll forget. Probably not.
There may also be 2.5 hours of Hearthstone discussion as well. No. I actually been playing not so much of that this week, so it's all good. We won't talk too much about Hearthstone. We'll try and avoid
Good.
that.
We're
I
missing.
can talk at length about it.
Yes, absolutely, we
Oh,
could.
lie at length. No one will know that I'm telling the lies. I'm like, yeah, I totally know this game. Because I watched some of these podcasts back just so I know what I was getting myself into. And when you're talking about Hearthstone, it sounds like you're not on a TV show where they're obviously making up video game things because the writer had no idea what they're talking about. Like, oh, the swamp goblins battle the thing. I hear that when I'm listening to other people talk about games I have no idea about. And the Hearthstone conversations are a little bit like that. So
Yeah.
if I'm talking about cards that don't exist, just nod and go along because I'm just going. I'm in this group as well.
We managed to have Dota last week, and Jesse's eyes just glazed over for about half an hour. It was great.
Oh, I'm so glad I wasn't there.
I think we're missing a good opportunity to talk about the future, guys. CES is going on right now. There are cell phone devices and accessories that you need right now.
Oh, really? Immediately.
Right now.
At this
My
very
favorite
moment.
CES thing that I read about, which I think is, it's about time. There are belts now
Okay.
that
Smart belts?
expand.
Were there not
Smart
belts previously?
But these have computers in them. And the more you eat throughout the day, it expands with your waist. This is what we've created, guys. We are basically Wall-E right now. The next thing we need are those floating little like lazy chairs, and we're good. We're good.
We had that. It was called Elastic. What was wrong with Elastic? That was great.
This is a belt with a computer in it, though, that knows when you eat.
And you need one that tells you off as the ultimate weight saving device. It just shouts you, you don't need to eat that cake.
Stop. Please stop.
I can't stretch anymore, fat ass. Please stop.
What are you doing to me?
Stop it. Oh, yeah, no. There are cars that have computers in them now.
What?
What? Also,
Impossible.
Also, are you
Spoiler,
ready?
Cars have had computers for
I know.
a really long time.
I'm aware. There are TVs. Wait for this. TVs that you can draw on.
I could do that to my
Like-
TV right
like
now.
tablets.
There's a Sharpie. There's a
Like
TV.
giant TV. I want to point out I think we've run out of ideas. I think as we've hit 2015, mankind has run out of. Like
I mean, to be
before,
fair, if you think about it, that is a phenomenal idea. You can pause shows with people you really hate and like draw
mustaches and dicks on their faces.
I was gonna go with dicks. Yeah, there you go. But that is the future right there. That's the next level of yelling at the TV. That's passive aggressively drawing a penis on the TV is clearly the way that we're going.
Or,
now in
oh my
2015.
god, that would be, you could make the most amazing drinking games where you draw like top hats on the TV, and anytime somebody lines up with the top hat, you
You
drink.
take a drink.
Oh,
Yeah.
guys, the future is now. This is gonna be amazing.
We used to have a drinking game where we would randomly switch channels mid-sentence to see if the rest of the sentence would be fulfilled by the channel that we'd switched over to. It wasn't so much of a drinking game, we just drank while we were doing it constantly, and it was just funnier that way.
Nice.
But there didn't appear to be an objective or scoring system of any kind, but it seemed to work, so can't really complain. All right.
when the aliens find the ruins of our civilization, it's gonna be smart cars still driving with dead corpses in them, and TVs with top hats written on them.
Yeah.
Or drawn on them, and that's it. And houses that are all connected, and they're gonna be like, "What the hell?" Like, we spent all of our time and resources getting to other planets, and they were like, "Fuck it, it's hot in here. I'll make it so like I can touch my phone to change the temperature." That's what's going on. We are so effing lazy. Jesus Christ.
I just want to know why exactly we're focusing so much on the phones and not on a sexy computer voice that basically does everything we ask them to. I mean, if we've got a lot of stuff from Star Trek.
Cortana, you mean?
Well, no. You want the Star Trek voice for the computer there. You don't want Cortana. No one wants to listen to Cortana. You want to hear the wonderful Star Trek voice. Like, yes, I will, in fact, perform a level 1 diagnostic on your air conditioning system.
I just want to be Tony Stark. I just want to have a house that listens to me and does
Well,
things
that's
for
a
me.
very uncommon aspiration. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
I don't. Sorry,
Right?
I
I
hate
like
to
how
break
you
it to
didn't
you.
just want the house. You wanted to be
I
Tony
only
Stark
want the
as well.
house.
You added
I don't
that onto
actually
the-
want to be Tony Stark. I just want his house. I want him
okay.
to make the house and then die tragically, and then I'll somehow
give it to
inherit the
you?
house. Yeah.
Then he'd give it to the robots first before even the
You're not getting
robots
it.
would own a house before you owned it.
Not a chance. You are not in the line of Tony Stark's succession as much as you
You
might
don't
believe
know.
otherwise.
He's definitely has some babies out there that he's not aware of. It could be
No.
me. I could be
No.
one of them.
Nope. Jarvis got in there afterwards, cleaned it up.
Jarvis just
You
created
know what
a
you know what I'm
hologram of
saying.
himself, and then that's what lives in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
He plays house. Oh my god. He's like, it's mine now, and then he pretends to be human. Oh, it's sad now. It got sad.
Welcome to the Co-optional
Wow.
Podcast. We do occasionally talk about
Wow.
video games, although when is a mystery at this point. Let's talk about the games that we've been playing this week. Let's start with our guest, Mr. NerdCubed. What have you been playing this week? What's been going on?
something awful. Unearthed. The
Oh,
Trail
God.
of Ibn Battuta or something. I saw this on Steam. It is a cheap knockoff of Uncharted.
Yes, it is.
Down to the font used in the logo and the fact it's called Unearthed. It's rather fun in a
Astonishingly
awful
horrible.
sort of way. Yeah, it's got that. It's the shortest. It's episode 1 and it's gold edition. The gold edition means it has 160 fixes from the PS3 edition. This game is so bad I have to now go and find the PS3 edition to see what was broken at these points. Like as I said, we've overhauled the fighting system. This is still one of the worst fighting systems I've ever seen. I want to see what was worse than it, because I know that's out there now. I know something out there is even more horrible. And I want to find it.
Yeah, on the screen right now we have Burger Paul's I Broken Earth Trail of Ibn Battuta or whatever it is. That's,
Yeah.
Oh, God.
that's not a real thing.
I think it's actually my video for today, and I played the whole thing, and don't
God.
buy it. I can't unrecommend.
There's
the
no
game
way
enough.
they're releasing another episode of this thing, are they? Like, they released this thing
Well, they've said
episodically.
they've switched engines as well. I mean, this came out like 2 years ago on the PS3 or something, and now we got the PC version. So yes, I don't ever see another one coming out, but it is.
Everyone's saying this is basically Ride to Hell 2. They're saying it's Ride to Hell
it's-
Retribution.
no, it's
It
not.
can't be that
God.
bad.
No, it's not that bad. I still have the flashbacks of. I finished Ride to Hell.
How?
I took
Jesse
a lot of-
failed. Angry Joe failed to actually
It's
make
not
it
a
to the end.
failure
of it.
when you quit. When you quit, it's not a failure.
Yeah, I remember with gusto when you promised, I'm gonna let's play Ride to Hell Retribution. You gave up after
That's
2
because I heard it
fucking
was
episodes.
bad. I didn't know it was like bad. I just,
We had to redefine bad for Ride to Hell Retribution. It's like a special level of bad. Yeah, this game's not up there. Although it does have like my favorite ever final level because it's such a long slog of a game. Even though it is literally an hour, you can finish it in an hour. The final level is a driving section, and
no.
in an open world city, the open world city is about half a kilometer square that loops. So it just goes on forever, and it's like escape the city, and it doesn't.
Oh.
You have no way of getting out of the city. It just loops, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm actually trapped in a nightmare. This is now genuinely a nightmare I'm trapped in. Like with dodgy. Bizarrely, it has like an in-car view that's actually looks okay. There's like the real detail has been put into really specific things. Like the game itself doesn't look bad. All the animations are atrocious, but the actual game doesn't look awful. So like in the stack screenshots, I'm like, hey, that doesn't look too bad. And then you play it like, that doesn't look too bad. But everything else is a screaming, unwakeable horror. It's
like
experience.
the members of the specific members of the team had a particular passion for specific things. Like there was the guy that really loved detailed car interiors, and that's where 90% of his effort went. It's like, oh yeah, I also have to do every other art asset in the game. I'd probably best get that done this afternoon then.
Yeah.
And it ends up being a complete disaster.
Yeah, it really was. It was a particularly amazing, awful pile of crap. I
Wow.
recommend you play.
I'm gonna not, actually.
It was £1 on the Steam sale. It was the only game I brought in the Steam sale, and I regret it slightly.
I'd
It's
say
something
so. I would say so. Now, my understanding is you also attempted to get back into Star Trek Online, which is something that I also attempted to do.
Yes.
How did that
For
go
my-
for you?
For my New Year's video, I did it like for my very first like free games video, which is like 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna play Star because I was playing it a fair bit back then. It's like the only MMO I've ever played because I like Star Trek.
Yeah.
And I went back into it and went, I wonder if I can just play an MMO and I remember all of it because I came up with the idea of should old acquaintance be forgot, and it was my New Year's video, and I went, ooh, game I haven't played for a while. I wonder if I forgot anything, and I'd forgotten all of it. But I found out it's because I was like such a high level in a low area place. I could just run around clicking the buttons and everybody was exploding.
Everything
so
explodes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you need.
That's the first thing that happened when I went back in. I realized, I'm flying around like a level 30 ship in a level 3 area, and this is completely and utterly pointless. But I actually persisted, and I spent almost all of yesterday playing this damn thing. And what's annoying is I don't think I enjoyed most of it. I went through, they've got this thing called episodes. And for some reason, your video is buffering, which is actually never happens. That's very strange. Anyway, the idea is that they release packs of kind of episode content, and they pretend, this is like a kind of a storyline that we're going through here. And it ends up being a series of quests, and some of them are good. I'm doing a Romulan one right now that's pretty good. But the one previously was called Wasteland. And it is about 4 or 5 hours of stupid, pointless, in-the-desert ground combat questing. Which is... half of it involves killing fucking sandworms for no apparent reason. You go to this city called Paradise City, where the grass... where the Orions, I suppose, are green and the girls are pretty. And... none of these characters, under any circumstances, should be interacting with, like, Federation captains in the way that they are. You should not be trusting that random guy in a strange hat near the entrance that claims he's seen things that you wouldn't believe. Like, this is all bullshit. But it was just 3 hours of just fucking tedium. And eventually I got through that, and eventually they gave me some space fights. And where that game shines is the space fights. It feels like, for the most part, like you're playing a version of Starfleet Command, which was a really fun kind of space sim. And it's reasonably graceful and slow. It feels like tall ships in space, especially if you're flying a cruiser, which I believe you were. And I also then got my Defiant, which, because it's a Defiant, I put the biggest possible guns I could on the front. And then I run at people screaming, "Today is a good day to die," and opening up with rapid-fire cannons. And it's the best fucking thing in the universe. So that game is... a lot of it is terrible, and then there's the moments which are just awesome, which I persist through, and I played probably 8 hours of it yesterday, and I played a bunch this morning as well. I'm like, I'm having some fun with it. I'm not sure if it's enough fun.
You're not having the mandatory levels of fun.
Yeah, I can't imagine committing that many hours to a game, and the entire time being like, I don't know if I'm having fun or not. I would give up.
Though,
I would give up earlier than that.
That's almost all MMOs. A lot of that stuff is filler. I mean, I felt like that with Dragon Age Inquisition as well. It's just like, am I having fun yet? I'm like, well, if I do enough of these non-fun things, like I'll be allowed to have fun for a while, right? That's how MMOs often feel. Star Trek Online is kind of like that. I think it's really just because I am actually numb to playing MMOs for years, where I can just tolerate a lot of that nonsense. I
was gonna say, I feel like maybe your personality isn't suited to that stuff anymore.
I think not.
If you don't enjoy that stuff, like for me, running around and doing dumb quests in Dragon Age Inquisition was still fun. It wasn't the most part of it, but it's still fun. And if you don't enjoy doing like little bullshit like that, then
it's weird because I
you need
feel
to
like
leave it all behind now, TB.
For some reason, I tolerate it more in an MMO than I would in a single player game, and I think it's because I expect it of an MMO, whereas a single player game doesn't have to have that shit, because it doesn't have to be like, well, you've got to spend 300 hours getting to max level to hit the end game. Like, there's no part of the business model which makes that a good idea. So single-player games are often more focused, and the content, the kind of signal-to-noise ratio of the content is better. But I never really felt that with Dragon Age Inquisition, and Star Trek Online definitely isn't like that. Although, I'll give them effort. Sometimes they try. Like, God bless their little hearts, they try to be interesting. They do the... They do these
trying.
They do these little puzzles. Like, they're like, oh, you gotta align things in the right order, and you've got to. There's a fucking quest on Deep Space K7 in the past for no fucking reason whatsoever. And nobody finds it unusual that you're there, by the way, in the past. Absolutely not. Because time travel is like, if we want to make things interesting, we throw time travel in, and we're going to do that over and over again. It's an entire quest about mixing a very specific drink in order to get someone to give you like a flux regulator in order to fix this thing. It's like, no, I need a nerve tonic. I need a very specific kind of nerve tonic. And you've got to go and ask all of her friends what she likes and then figure out all of these options to make the perfect fucking drink to get it to give you... It's like... I am a Starfleet captain. The station is going to explode. Give me the fucking flux regulator.
Question, and I assume this is in the game, but I do they have any puzzles where you have to somehow open up part of the wall and then move little tiny squares from one slot to another in order to reactivate shields?
I think they have not stooped that low. That was something that
they should.
That's something that Dungeons and Dragons Online
had it.
D&D Online did that a lot. Like, it did, like, the whole, hey, move things around, the kind of sliding puzzles and things like that. They had a lot of that stuff, and the problem is that when you keep doing it, it becomes pretty damn boring. It's like when you...
They were doing that on the Enterprise all the time. Like, we gotta get the power back up. All right, let's move this one to here and this one to here.
Oh, yes,
and now we're good.
Move the chips around, yes. The good old... Someone took all of the computer chips out for some reason. Let's put them back in again thing.
We just gotta move them around.
I'm pretty
now
sure that
good.
was like the plot of at least 3 episodes of Next Generation. Like, we gotta get data in here to move the isolinear rods back in the right places.
More than that, they did that all the time. Geordi's constantly like, hold on, let me move these. We're good, guys. Like,
this is completely
how does that computer work?
Because could you imagine if you got a red shirt who's colorblind at the start of an episode just messing with them? I have no idea.
I don't know what's going on at all.
Oh, man, I can't wait to watch that again. I got, I think, season 2 and 3 of the Next Generation remastered on Blu-ray, which, like,
it's good.
It is good. Like, I got the first season, and the first episode is just mind-blowing how good that now looks. Like, they did so much work with it. It still bothers me that it's 4:3, I'm going to admit, but... Like, still, I have this annoying habit of just hating black bars on the side of the screen. It's like, this is the edge of the TV, but this is where your content is. I hate you for that. So I watch a lot of old stuff on my iPad because it's 4:3, and I'm like, oh, there's no black bars. This is perfect now. It's just irrationally stupid. But,
yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know. That game's actually doing reasonably well. Like, I think on average it has about 4,000 concurrent players at any given time on Steam, which is a good number for a free-to-play MMO on Steam. That's not bad. It's in the top 100, and I'm still having fun with it, actually. Yeah. Like, I'm having enough fun in the combat, and I'm leveling, like, super fast now to the point where I'm going to actually, like, I'll be jacking in my Defiant probably in the next couple of hours to get my Tier 5 ship, whatever that's going to be. And then there's like, oh, there's this bunch of endgame stuff, and like there's an entire expansion in the Delta Quadrant, which is apparently a lot better than all of the other content put together. Like, okay, I can dig this. This sounds fun.
Yeah. So, and they got the voice cast as well. They bring the voice cast in, and they've got stuff with voice cast. See, that's the reason I'm doing it, is because I'm a huge Trek nerd.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's dragging me through. Is it fun yet? I don't know. I want more Star Trek. Because either this or J.J. Abrams.
It's like, what choice do we have? What choice do we have right now for Star Trek games? You know, there's mods for certain games. I went back and played Star Trek Armada 3 for Sins of a Solar Empire.
So good.
Which was pretty good. Like, I was very tempted to reinstall Bridge Commander just because that was great as well. And just like, God, I want a good Star Trek game. What the hell happened to all of them? I'm going to blame Activision. It's their fault. They published a bunch of the good ones, and then somehow something went wrong, and then there's no good Star Trek anymore.
Yeah.
Are we still in the zone where we can blame everything on Activision always?
Yeah. Yup.
Like 4 years down, it's still like a go-to.
The ripples, man.
Hey, the thing I love most about the Star Trek games is the Activision logo was always blown up by quantum torpedoes in every intro sequence, and I'm like, that very much represents how I feel about Activision. Yes, that's
the highlight
not even Photon.
Oh, yeah.
They wasted quantum torpedodos.
Absolutely. They're like, no, we
only got like 6 of those things. Blow that shit up.
Yeah, we've got to unload that. You know, we've got to go to the fucking Delta Quadrant, find tricobalt devices, which we just made up for no fucking reason. Oh god, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not. It's the amount of Voyager we're going to make shit up that we inexplicably have is just no.
Voyager is such an insane show.
Like, even beyond that, I love watching Star Trek and thinking to myself, this is like a full-on sci-fi show, and they never once thought that maybe we would have devices that can do things that every single person's phone can do.
Yeah.
Like, the way that our phones work now is above and beyond anything that they had.
Yeah.
Like, it's very crazy.
It's very strange, like, what Star Trek gets completely wrong, and then what it's like, yeah, actually, we probably will have to wait to the 24th century to have fucking warp drive. But the rest of it is like, I'm sorry, you use a badge as a why don't you just use a fucking phone? Like, this is silly. Like,
and they still have to like tune in to get this
on their
this
tricorders
right station and stuff. Yeah,
right station.
Just like,
in to blog on FM. No, I don't want blog on FM. Meteorite crashes to the planet. Gotta try and get up as soon as possible.
You know, that was kind of the interesting thing about Alien Isolation, I suppose, was that even the Alien obviously looks ridiculous now. Like, there's no way that any of that stuff would work the way that it does. And yet, in that game, this like, fuck it. We're doing it anyway. Yeah, you're going to have CRT monitors. Yeah, you're going to have these dumb keyboards. Yeah, everything's going to look like it was designed in the 60s, because it bloody well was. Yep. I've got to respect that to some degree. I think, that takes a lot of balls, frankly.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. There was, as I saw today, there's some website that collects like sci-fi corridors, like shots of corridors from sci-fis. Someone has taken them and 3D mapped them. Someone's 3D mapped them, and they've turned it into a maze of like, so each corridor is a different corridor from a different sci-fi. And I don't know if there's an end to this maze, but I've been wandering around all day, this bizarre sort of like constantly, every time you go around a corner, it's like, hey, this is the one from the Matrix, and this is the one from Moon, and all stuff like that. It's really interesting, like, because you literally have no idea when you go around a corner where you're going to be, and it's just the biggest nerd thing of, oh, I know this, I'm gonna hang around at this corridor. Well, I'm a nerd, yes. The name gives it away.
I'm gonna have a look at that. That sounds really bizarrely and pointlessly interesting.
Yeah, it's like one of those things you find. It's like the tiniest little. You're like, who would be interested in this? And then 3 hours later, you're like, oh, it's me. I'm the one who's interested in this. It's fine.
Oh my. Dodger, have you been playing anything this week that is not anime bullshit?
Well, that doesn't count.
But you're allowed. Okay. You can talk about it if you like. We've had 2 weeks off from you.
I know. I did play Geometry Dash.
Oh,
that game is fucking obnoxious.
Okay, why
it's
is
like
that?
It's one of those games where it's what am I trying to?
Oh god, it's on a bunch of LP channels of people screeching at it. So I guess this is difficult.
Oh, is it? Yeah, it is. It is a very difficult game. It's one of those games where the game itself is like pushing you along, and you have to jump over things in time to like music.
Okay.
And oh my god, it's so hard.
Holy shit. The trailer for this game has 6 million views. And looks incredibly similar to the Impossible game.
It's an important game.
In fact, it looks exactly like the Impossible game. Hang on a minute. No,
Take off the mask. It is the Impossible game.
Wait, this is the fucking... Is this
I would
the
have
same
gone away with
developer?
it if it wasn't for you meddling kids.
Is this the same developer, or did they just rip this off? Because this is the Impossible game.
I don't know.
Like, in every
way. It's a video
way.
game from the year 2015. It's most likely a rip-off.
Well, it is on iOS, so that's pretty much guaranteed at this point. No, I mean, this has got to be by the same person. There's no way someone would be this shameless, right? Right?
I mean...
2047. Are you aware of the industry you're in?
I avoid iOS for a very good reason, damn it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know.
7 awesome soundtracks. Not one soundtrack. 7
of them. 7 entire soundtracks. I believe that.
It was one of those games where I went on Steam and I was like, I just want something kind of mindless. And this looked like it was mindless, and then
you were horribly mistaken.
Made me so angry. Yeah. I was like, this is not mindless at all.
Now because
I'm just so tense, like just trying to time it out right and dying every time. And the practice mode is so shitty. Can I just say, the way that they have it is there's normal mode that actually counts, and then there's practice mode to like help you get through it. In practice mode, when you die, you just start over where you died. Fuck that, because half the time you died right on the edge of a fucking block, and then you fell to your death, right? And so it starts you off at the edge of that block over and over again, and you can't move on. I'm just like, what the fuck? It's so shitty.
Yeah, so I looked at it. Yeah, it is a ripoff. It's not by the original devs at all. It's a complete fucking ripoff
Considering
of the
that
Impossible
they
game.
fixed in the Impossible game, you plant down flags in the practice mode. You jump from those flags, and you can delete and go back to flags you previously played, so you wouldn't get stuck like that.
Interesting.
It has Flappy Bird levels in it for some reason. Oh my god.
Everything does.
Just that is.
Sign of quality. Look at air control.
Hey, I've said it before. Like this is it's becoming a point where people, especially on like iOS, will develop games specifically to bait YouTubers. And evidently, this one worked because PewDiePie played it. A bunch of screaming Let's Players played it, and it got like 6.5 million views on its trailer. So success, well done. I'm not playing that shit. That looks terrible.
Yep.
I feel bad for playing it now that I know it's a ripoff.
But I did. Yeah, we're just there going, who would play this piece of shit?
Yeah.
What kind of disgusting human being?
Asshole who would play a game like this? I'm like, I finally played Reciteer.
I
had never played that.
Just done that.
I don't know. So many people for so long.
The game is phenomenally good.
It's really good. Yeah, it's so damn. This game is basically in the world of every RPG ever, except instead of being the hero, you're the person who runs the item shop.
Oh, I have this. I just haven't played it. Yes, you
it's really fun. You should play it.
Pronounced.
It's really fun.
Trump was playing it on stream.
I've called that game Bracketeer every time I've scrolled past it. My students going, "I'll play that one day."
It's supposed to be
Racketeer. Oh.
It's supposed to be a pun on Racketeer. Yeah. So.
Oh right, I just read Racketeer. Fail pun. Nice.
So it all works out. But holy fuck, that game is really fun.
Yes.
I'm on my. I died on the 200,000 goal. I did not make it on 200,000, and then I had to start over. But I've been playing that game a lot. I've been playing it on 2 separate computers too. That's when I know I have a problem. When I'm playing it on my PC and then I go to bed and also play it on my laptop. But it's not like they share a game. They're 2 totally separate save files. Yeah. Fortunately, they let you skip through all of the sequences where they explain stuff, so you don't have to sit through that every time. But the game is really, really fun.
Well, the guys that translated that was their big breakthrough. The group called Carpe Fulgur. They've been translating a bunch of kind of older, I believe mostly like, well, they're not PS2, but like a lot of the sort of indie games in Japan that are on PC are kind of like, they look like PS2 games. And they've been translating a lot of those, and Reciteer was kind of their big hit. And then they released a bunch of other stuff as well. I think Fortune Summoners was one, and a few others. But I think none of them have been that successful because, frankly, Reciteer is such an interesting concept, and a lot of the others are just like, well, it's a JRPG kind of thing. Whereas Reciteer is like, well, it's kind of an action Zelda RPG, but it's also an item shop simulator, and also it's really well written. And
the writing is really funny.
It's funny,
And I don't know if I'm sure part of it was that it was just translated well.
Yeah, they put their own original kind of flair on it.
Yeah, but it was, I don't know. I like it a lot. I had no idea that it was going to be as fun as it was. I thought that it was going to be like basically Diner Dash. It's not that at all.
No.
It's totally different from that. I was like, if I want to play Diner Dash, I'll just play Diner Dash. Like, I don't need to play this game. But it wound up being really fun. So I recommend it.
Yeah, it is great. There's no doubt.
Dan, I recommend it. You should play it, Dan.
It's on my list. It's been on the list for a long time. On my Steam group that says, like, you should really play these at some point, maybe. Get around to this. It's just, whatever now. It's just too long.
It's a phenomenal game. Although it is the sort of game that you can really mess yourself up with, because at the end of the month, you basically got to, like, pay off the debt. And
each week you have to pay off.
And it can get pretty hard. So if you mess that week up, then expect to go back and have to do the whole damn thing again.
But the kind of really cheap thing to do that, because I was playing it on stream and everybody was like, "You're totally gonna die. You're not gonna make the 200,000." And I was like, "No, what do I do?" Once you die, quote quote quote. Once you start over, you get to keep all of your items. So whatever money you've made, you just buy as many items as you can with that money, and then you start over and you have all of this awesome shit to sell.
Okay.
It's like super cheap that they let you do that. I was like, why is that a thing? Cool, I'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Cheat until you can't cheat anymore.
Yeah. Cheat it till you make it.
Beat it.
Beat it.
Cheat it till you beat it.
Absolutely.
How did you not? Jesus.
Look,
You professionally entertain.
Do I though?
The answer to that apparently is no. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
I don't think anybody would call what I do entertaining.
No, you are a professional anime bullshit promoter at this point. That's what you do.
Thank you. It has made it awesome, though. Every time I go to my curator list, somebody has recommended a different game that looks absolutely shitty for me to play. Yeah.
Okay. Oh man.
Yeah. What else have I played? I've been playing a lot of Adventure Express. I know that you guys said that game looked really shitty. I don't even care. It's awesome.
I actually don't even remember what that was. What is it?
It's the game.
So unimportant.
Yeah. I pitched it really poorly though too. I'm routinely bad at pitching games on this show, but it's
according to YouTube, it's a roller coaster. So I'm not 100% sure what this is.
Adventure Express. It's a game. It's a pickpocket game.
It's a what?
Not mobile. It's a company called Pickpocket.
Pickpocket? What?
It's a pickpocket game on mobile where you are playing a little mail carrier who's running through a world of like monsters.
Oh,
and
I
each
finally
area
found footage for this thing. This is hard to find footage for. This has 112 views on the channel. Let us play Android.
Well, it's on Android.
Oh, it's a match 3 game.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's the writing in this one so good because you're always taking letters from one place to another. And the way that the letters match up, you get the original letter and then you get the reply once you get to the end of a zone. And it's always just so funny. And all of the monsters are usually named something kind of punny as well. But I love it. I think it's so fun. And I've put so much time into this. I haven't spent any money on it. I put so much time into it and I'm not even 50% of the way through, I don't think. But yeah, this is what it looks like.
It's so cute.
I can see it.
That actually looks kind of fun, I've got to admit. Admittedly, it's like, hey, we are Puzzle Quest, goddamn, but that's
free.
Okay. That's all right. I mean, Puzzle Quest got rubbish after the first one, so, you know. If people want to clone Puzzle Quest, they're more than fucking welcome, because apparently the people that made it forgot how.
Yeah, my girl's named Gertrude, and right now she's wearing the skin of a dragon, so she's pretty awesome.
Jesus Christ.
It's really, really fun.
Do you have something you'd like to say to the group?
No. I get this way every time Dodger speaks about shit that is boring. So.
Whatever.
I'm glad in 2050 you're just coming out and saying it now. It seems like you've had that bottled for a while.
I also beat every level on Best Fiends.
What?
And now I'm really disappointed. There's another game called Best Fiends. It's like
Best Fiends.
It's one of those games where you're trying to like get as many of one color at a time as you can.
Okay, so the first thing that I found at Best Fiends has your boyfriend's face superimposed over some guy's crotch next to PewDiePie.
Yeah! Nice!
So, I mean, is there anything you'd like to tell us about this? 'Cause...
What the fuck?
Hold
this
on,
is group.
what?
I'm in group now, aren't I? This is some sort of strange therapy.
We brought you here because of that. This is an intervention.
What the fuck is this?
Best Fiends?
Which one of us?
Fiends.
Images? How do I find this picture?
If you look for Best Fiends, you will find the crotch. Like, it is not hard to find. It's right there.
I have not seen it at all yet.
Dodger.
Don't put my name in there. What the fuck?
No, Dodger has nothing to do with it.
If you do Best Fiends Dodger, you get, like, girls with tattoos. What is even happening right now?
Best Fiends plus stripping with Sam Strippin. It was on PewDiePie's podcast. Number 6, apparently.
The broken
I see that. Yeah, it's his dick on a thing. And Ken's there, too.
That's a fucking line we could just... I want to put that on my phone so that I can play it in random conversations, just as a breaker.
Oh, it's his dick on a thing.
And Ken's there, too. I don't even know what's happening anymore.
Oh, there was clearly a massive promotion done. Holy shit.
Oh, was there?
Oh,
Next level promotion. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there's a Bitly tracking link. Yep, this looks like this was bought and paid for. Absolutely.
This was promotion.
Oh no, I mean it literally was. Like 3 weeks ago, thanks to Best Fiends for sponsoring this video. Yes, okay, so that's why it's all over the place because they paid for it. Okay.
Well, I've been seeing.
Well, you better not promote it here because they're not paying me.
Yeah, no one gave me any money, so fuck them. Fuck them, Best Fiends.
Best Fiends.
Or like
Worst game.
wasting your time.
Worst game.
Best Fiends encourages
Calm down, everybody. Everybody calm
educational
down.
problems in our country. Like,
Yeah.
Best Fiends has been campaigning against gay marriage for years now.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear.
That's just reportedly, allegedly.
When you load the game, it says in big bold letters, it's a choice. That's what it says right there when you load in the game. It's the loading screen. It's like Sega, but it's like, it's a choice. True story. Probably should have given me the money, eh, Best Fiends?
All I was going to say was there have been ads for this game all over the place, and I decided to play it. And over the break, I beat all of the levels, and I was like, "Oh man!" So, just so you know, when you decide to play Best Fiends, there's like 130 something levels, and then you just have to wait around for new levels. So,
okay, I mean that sounds like every video game that's been made. You beat the game, and then you wait for more of the game, right?
I mean, I think it's on a map style, kind of like Candy Crush. I feel like it's trying to be Candy Crush, like new area coming soon, maybe.
Well,
like,
I mean,
come on.
I'm looking at the mechanics of it, and it's basically a match 3 with uneven areas, and like there's kind of a sliding mechanic where things can kind of slide down hills by the looks of it. And for some reason, there's a slug that dances. I'm really not actually sure what this is.
You're bugs fighting slugs. Slugs are the bad guys, and you're trying to defeat the slugs. And all of the different bugs get fuel from different kinds of fruits and vegetables. And so when you match them up, then they get that as power, and then they attack. And they all have special attacks that become special little pieces that are on the board, and then you can use it in a matchup, and then it blows stuff up. Maybe
this sounds like every game.
All of them.
All of the games on iOS are this.
Again, I was like, it's free and it's not bugging out. I'll play it, and then I beat all the levels.
When this episode's with games like this, it really is like a marketing thing, because it seems to be like you've got to make the game look as slick as possible. And then you've got to really market the hell out of it, and that's how you become a huge success. Like, is Clash of the Clans better than every other game that's like Clash of Clans? No, but they marketed it really well, and it had kind of a slick style to it. And it's the same with things like Candy Crush. Is Candy Crush the best match 3 game? No, not at all. But they managed to market it in a nice way, and it has a nice interface, and it makes the right sounds when you match things, so you feel good inside.
Oh yeah, for sure. The like slow raising of the notes so that you're like, oh, I'm getting more and more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
For me, the thing that really helps with whether or not I'll keep playing a game like this, because I try to play a lot of games like this, specifically the free ones.
You try to? You actively?
Oh God, if you wait to do this, why?
I look for them, and I try them.
You
and
actively
I'll
seek
stop
out
playing
misery.
them. I'll stop playing them.
You could be an honorary
if the
British person,
TotalBiscuit.
We have to take that test. It's true story.
Everybody calm down.
Okay.
The thing...
Let's take 5. Let's breathe. Everybody breathe in.
When this episode's animated...
I don't even care anymore.
Hold on!
No, fuck yourself, Jesse.
I'm about to
I don't care anymore.
Good. When this episode's animated... I'm gonna do your work for you. When this episode's animated, Dodger's gonna be like, you play as bugs and you fight slugs, and she's gonna be little girl Dodger. Cut to TB and I jumping off a bridge. That's the animated episode. You're welcome. Done. That's it. That's the last episode. That's the last episode ever. We just kill ourselves.
Yep.
Then you play as a little bug and you fight. Go back, rewatch yourself, because you became like a child. You're like,
Oh my gosh, so then the thing that I really like about these games, the reason that I really, really love them is that sometimes the level designs are actually really good, and you realize, if I do it this way, that's the way it was intended to be done.
Oh, we just lost all our cameras. What
Kill the podcast. He killed it. We're done.
Turn your cameras back on, guys. What the fuck happened?
TV killed the podcast. We're done. It's over. It's over.
I'm free!
What the hell happened? Dodger, get your camera back on.
It won't turn on.
You're the one who broke it. God damn it.
Someone on Skype has just gone, no, fuck you forever.
Okay, well, we're stuck with this for the time being then. Great.
Wonderful.
Nice. That's brilliant. Well, you'll have to fix that during the break. Oh, my God.
That something's gone wrong while I'm around. That makes me feel at home when something goes wrong during a live.
Just randomly breaking.
I tried to actually talk about game mechanics and why I like those games, and then Jesse turned it into a thing. And then I talked like a baby and broke the fucking podcast.
Seriously though, like I kind of wish I could have that enthusiasm for video games. I really genuinely do. Like I
actually liked my job.
Yeah, I really do genuinely feel like I hate video games at this point. Like I think it's 2014 that did it for me.
You gotta find the good stuff. That's how you do video games. You gotta search for the good stuff because all the AAA stuff is just the same 4 cover shooter ideas recycled. You want the new stuff.
It feels
when
like
you get something new and it's amazing, you go, "This is the best thing ever," and then you get bored of it and find another thing.
I'm shoving my arm into a pit of used hypodermic needles in order to try and find a chocolate bar. It's not great. Like I'd prefer not to have that happen.
Man's got to figure it out.
It's well,
tip it upside down, rummage easier.
That's actually a fair point. It probably should.
Yeah. Now you have a raining pile of hypodermic needles. Like, that's yeah.
And
this is how we started.
This is how we do downtown.
Just be happy with hypodermic needles that may or may not have been used, and you'll be fine.
You just have to learn to be tolerant of large piles of hypodermic needles, and then everything will be good in video games now.
That's what gaming is.
That's
gaming is just a large pile of hypodermic needles, and YouTubers are people that are offered money to plunge their hands in. It's like, find our needle, enjoy it. That's how it is.
What else have you been playing, Dodger? Please be enthusiastic about other things, because God knows we are not. So you need to...
I try, man. I try.
You're the person that's holding us up and preventing us from being horribly miserable.
Am I? So. Oh, God.
Is that too much responsibility? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is, because I can't really think of anything else new that I've been playing.
Well, what about something old that you've been playing? Have you been revisiting anything?
Yeah, I've been trying to actually beat the Professor Layton Phoenix Wright game.
Oh, okay.
So I never made it all the way through that game, just because I don't know, since they swap back and forth between the mechanics of like, you're in a Phoenix Wright-ish game now, and now you're in a Professor Layton-ish game, and they go back and forth every now and then. Specifically, the Phoenix Wright sections, for whatever reason, feel very molassesy. I feel like they just
drag
take
on
forever. Yeah, and in comparison to the Professor Layton sections, just because the Professor Layton sections let you run around, and then you do a puzzle, and then you run around some more, and you do a puzzle, and more puzzles, and then with Phoenix Wright, it's just like a lot of reading, And the animation, of course, is fantastic, and they blend the animation styles really well, but it's been hard to get through, but it is really fun. I like the way that they've made it. It's just the pacing isn't great for me specifically, I guess.
Yeah, I'm having that problem because I've just started playing Phoenix Wright for like the first time ever because on the 3DS they have the triple thing.
Love it.
It's the first time ever. It's like literally the last few days I've just started playing the first one, and it's got like the court sections which are great and fun and tense, and then you have the investigations where you move here, and just hope to God someone appears who you can talk to activate the next bit, and you're like, come on, please. Let someone be here, and you have to. I just interact with everything. I don't care what it is. If it's like, do you want to stab this guy? I'm going to stab this guy because someone else might turn up that I could talk to, and then maybe we'll go back to the court where the actual game is because I don't care about the invest. Although it has that adventure game problem of sometimes it has the logic that just goes all over the place.
Yes.
Like you have because the one I just did was the samurai one. There's there's a bed
samurai. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bent fence. I'm like, well, someone fell on that. And then it's like, and it goes like, oh, there's no blood. And he was stabbed with a spear. I wonder why there's no blood. I'm like, he fell on the fence. And then you get given a picture. And it's like, here's a man who fell on the fence 5 years ago. And you're like, wait, I thought this was this murder. And then it's like, actually, no, the same thing happened. But there's no clue that the same thing happened this time. It's just like, oh, he fell on the same one again. I'm like,
the early ones have like a kind of a big problem of adventure game logic that you know the answer, but you can't. It's showing the working again. You can't show the working because their particular working is batshit insane. So a lot of it ends up being guessy. I think like it got a lot better after the first one. They really started to realize, actually, this is silly, and we should probably make this make a little bit more sense. And they started to throw mechanics in there to solve particular parts of the puzzle that were a lot more interesting than just guessing at whatever, like show this piece of evidence at random and hope that this happens. They also took they took like the lives mechanic out, if I recall correctly, as well.
Good, because that's really irritating me.
Yeah, I can't remember which one it was that had you look for particular like facial tics. I liked that a lot.
Oh, that was
it Apollo Justice that did that?
I think it's yeah, I think so, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was, and I was actually surprised.
Was Apollo Justice the one where they introduced like the locks? Is that the same thing?
That wasn't. I think that was the second one where they put the locks in, the heart locks, the psych locks or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
And I don't mind that system, but I like the one in particular where it's like spot when they're lying because they're doing some weird thing where they're like fiddling with their thing that's in their pocket or whatever. That was cool. I like that a lot.
I'm not lying.
Dual Destinies apparently does. It does actually. I remember now. I actually haven't finished Dual Destinies. I need to get back to that, but. They can make those games till the end of goddamn time, and I will keep buying them. I'm going to be completely honest about that. They're great. I love them, and the writing is continuously goofy and stupid, and the characters are always completely larger than life and strange, and I love that in particular. It's like, oh, this person is wearing, I don't know, a tiger on her head. We're going to get a good explanation as to why that is, and that tiger's going to have different poses depending on how she's feeling. That is all of the... All of the Ace Attorney games do that in some way, and I was just like, what can they do next that's going to make this character look ridiculous and animated and really fun? And they do that so well. They did it even better with like the early games where it was just very basic, like low frame animation, but they injected a lot of character into every one of the NPCs just with all of these silly things. But I gotta say, like, I think their transition to 3D, it's worked. They did really well, like making the game look good in 3D. So
totally.
It looks great. I need to play those games again. I think since I've now forgotten all of the cases, this is the same reason why I've started watching The West Wing again. I waited long enough to forget the plot so that I could watch it again and enjoy it again. I think I'm doing the same thing with Phoenix Wright right now. That's gonna happen.
So come back to Dual Destinies and be like, yes.
Hell, fuck that, and go back to number 1, I think, actually. 'Cause they did just release the kind of HD trilogy, so it's like, hey.
That's true, I actually forgot about that.
Yeah, they have re-released that game about 5,000 times, I will say. Like, and I own it on at least 3 platforms already, so it's getting a bit weird, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's good. I do love me Phoenix Wrights. Absolutely. Anything else you've been playing this week, Dodger, before we head to the break and get your camera fixed?
I think we can go to break.
Yeah. Sounds like a good idea. We'll get your camera sorted out, and then we'll come back and we'll talk more about the games we've been playing this week. And then we'll talk about what limited news there actually is. You're watching the Co-Optional Podcast. We're going to a break, and we will be back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Co-Optional Podcast. So, Dodger, you remember when you got that package of Intel stuff? You know?
Yeah, I do remember that,
Do you remember that really nice SSD they sent you?
I do, yeah.
You remember how you haven't put that in your PC at all? And that is abundantly clear.
A bunch of people gave me huge lists of, like, you can't use any of that gear until you buy all of this stuff. And I was like, oh, God.
Mostly bullshit, but...
I just haven't used any of it because I'm like, I don't want to fuck it up.
That was the longest PC reboot time in human history. Like, did you have to pedal faster in order to get it going?
No, what happened was it was like trying to shut down and it wouldn't shut down, and so I had to force I had to force restart it. Yeah, and then it was like, oh no, what happened? I was like, shut up, just take me to the internet.
Indeed. Well, never mind. Okay, we are back. We apologize to those watching the live show. And those watching the VOD, well, clearly you had a better idea, didn't you? All these idiots sitting here waiting. What the hell's wrong with them?
I'm sorry.
Oh, all right. Let's get back on to what we've been playing this week. Jesse, what have you been playing this week? What's been going on?
I have played far too much of the NES remix game for Wii U.
Oh, okay. How's that?
I mean, you know what you're getting. It's Nintendo games, and then once you have proven that you can play the old school ones, they remix them and make them bonkers.
Okay.
And so it can be anything from playing as Donkey Kong running through a Mario level while the lights shut on and off.
All right.
That kind of stuff. But you just have to be good at old video games, which is great because I'm very good at those old ones. So it's Donkey Kong Jr. That was my shit. I was good at that. So it's a lot of fun, but it's also really, really short. Like, I don't know why anyone would purposefully go out and buy it, but
that's a ringing endorsement.
Well, that's I think it's too short. I think it's too short of a game, but it's there for like fun and testing your skill and that kind of crap. But I don't know that I would recommend it. It's okay.
Okay. All right then. Well, that was
there
exciting.
You go.
Did you play anything else that you won't recommend?
I mean, last week I didn't recommend Endless Legends, so we're good with that.
Have you still been playing more of that? I actually started playing that. In a big way.
I mean, every time I go to play it, because I have grand ideas of what it could be as a game, and every time I sit down to play it, I'm like, it's not what I want. Like,
why?
Again, I think I mentioned last time, it's just too much micromanaging for me. Like, I think we discovered that's not my jam. Are
you sure? I mean, what do you mean by micromanaging as I get? Exactly? Like, what exactly is your definition of that?
Oh, I think too much clicking on things. Like, having to... Okay. I like it when a computer game or video game is smart enough to understand, like, he probably wants to do this. Instead of, like, I'm going to do this, and you must go through 5 different screens in order to make it the way you want it. I'm like, I'd rather you just be smart enough to know.
So it's a UI problem.
Yeah, it's clearly a UI problem with that game. There's just too much to it. I think there's just a lot of UI. Other than that, I think the concept's great, but I think it's like a very slow-paced game.
Yes, and that's definitely true.
So I want it to be I just want it to be great. Like, there's a lot of stuff there that I feel like this is the makings of a fantastic game, but it's just not. And I'm hoping that if they make a sequel, they fix some of the problems and make it like what it should be.
Well, a lot of the problems Endless Legend has are similar to Endless Space, which is the first game that company made, which had some good points, but it simplified in the places that I didn't want it to simplify. And Endless Legend has a fairly similar problem, especially when it comes to the combat. That's what's really rubbing me the wrong way at the moment, because the combat is a complete waste of time. You'd have basically no control over anything that you do, other than every turn you get to say, target this. And that's it. And then the units will move according to their statistics. They will attack according to their statistics. And with Endless Space, it was kind of like that, but you got to play cards that would maybe kind of almost a rock, paper, scissors sort of thing. It's like this buffs this and does this, but it's countered by this. And it wasn't a very good system, but what I would say about it is it gave you a nice overview of the battle, because it was just big ships kind of drifting and shooting each other, which was kind of fun to watch. Whereas this is units running on a hex-based grid at each other, attacking each other, which is a lot less fun to watch, I find. And I mean, yeah. I think the Empire management is good. Absolutely. People
in chat were like, you realize you can automate it. Yeah, well, the things that you can automate are things I don't want to automate.
Okay.
Like, all the things they let you, they're like, you can put a governor in charge of your city and let him do all the work. Well, like, no, I want to do that stuff. It's all the other little shit that I don't want to do. Like you have to manage where these troops go and how they go there. And they all start in your garrison, so you have to inform armies with them. Like, fucking form your own armies. I ain't got time for that. I got my own stuff to do. It's a lot of little tiny things.
I mean, the UI is like a lot of style and like an annoying lack of substance a lot of the time. It's like, hey, we're gonna look really slick as much as possible. But yeah, there are definitely, I think, a couple of things in that game that could probably be done a little bit better. Like, there could be one less menu for this, just one less button press for that. But here's what I will say about it is I fucking love the diversity in the factions. Absolutely phenomenal.
Agreed.
The fact that every faction you play basically completely changes the way that the game plays is magnificent. It's absolutely awesome, because it really encourages replayability, and every faction you encounter is completely different to you as well. So
right.
I'm playing the faction called the Broken Lords, who are basically, something was going wrong with them. They basically ripped the story from Warhammer 40,000. They're basically the Thousand Sons from Warhammer 40,000. Something was going wrong with their bodies. They cast this mighty spell and turned themselves into fucking living dust inside armor, and they don't
Now they need dust.
Yeah, they need dust.
They need So the money in the game is how they eat. So you need to just get money all the time.
The food resource is completely irrelevant. Like, they just completely throw it out the door and say, oh, you can heal all your units with dust. You can buy units with dust. You feed units with dust. You could literally buy more citizens for your city with dust because you just create more Broken Lords. Just like, hey, have some more civilians. There you go. And it is completely different. And you can also do custom civilizations, which I've not dived into yet, but I love that idea. Because if they let you do even half of what the regular civilizations do, that's intriguing. And the Empire Management's pretty good. I like exploring the landscape. I think that, like, if I wanted a game about exploring the landscape, I'd probably play Heroes of Might and Magic because it's better at it. Like, that's a game where I love starting it because I'm like, what crazy shit am I going to find around the corner? Is there a treasure chest over there? Will there be a dragon in it? There might be. It's possible. These are all really cool things, but I'm not convinced by it yet, but it's getting there. Like, it's starting to rub me the right way, I feel.
The thing that I think the thing that annoyed me about the questing in it is that the questing's gated, and so there's a really great example is I got a quest that was like, as the guys you were talking about, and they're like, oh, we found this interesting ruin. We should definitely go explore it. So it's like, okay, sure. And it's like, you need 1 general, 3 units in an army to go there. I'm like, okay. So I go there. And then when I get there, it's like, all right, the only way we're going to get this door open is with 1,000 dust. So we need to go make 1,000 dust. It's like, God damn it. What? I just... Okay, sure.
The ones that annoy me the most are the ones that you can instantly fail. Like, it said, get here within 3 turns. I'm like, my units are 20 turns away. That's impossible. And there was another one that was like, you need to find this army in this territory because they have an item you need. I literally failed it the turn after because the AI killed the army. There's nothing I could have done to stop that whatsoever. That was infuriating to me.
I don't know.
It's got its moments.
Cute.
They're getting there, I think. I hope they do well, because these guys have got some good ideas, but they kind of fuck up some stuff, especially with, like, Endless Space. They're the same problem. They also made a game called Dungeon of the Endless. I'm not sure if you had a chance to play that, but that's a very strange one. It's almost like a tower defense game kind of mixed with a roguelike. It's a bit weird. Really strange. I played a bit of it, and I actually just couldn't understand what it was. So I need to have another shot at it. It does seem like fun.
Can I?
You can try.
Oh.
Jesse, I cannot believe that you played Depth on a stream with TV and I was not there. I'm so angry.
Oh yeah.
Way to not be in the country. It's your problem.
I'm so upset.
It's not our fault that you're on the houseboat away from everybody else.
Yeah. Not our problem. Look, I'll be honest. He talked me. We were originally not going to play that game, and then the game we were going to play for some reason didn't work. And
we're trying to play Magicite.
No, we were going to play Magicite,
and we couldn't get it. We couldn't get it to work.
TV loaded in and was like, I don't know how this game works. Like, we couldn't connect to each other.
Yeah.
So then, he's like, just go download Depth. I'm like, I'm not really comfortable with that. And he's like, just go download it. We'll play as the Sharks.
Yeah, I convinced him we'll play as the Sharks, so everything will be okay. So he won't have to worry about being scared by sharks. And then I accidentally didn't realize that they added a second game mode in called Megalodon Hunt, where it's 5-on-1. And I ended up being the shark and he didn't. And he was screaming at me for 5 minutes about this.
Look, it was betrayal of the highest. I will never forgive you for that. The minute the game started, if you want to go watch it, I think it's one of my
It was great because he was in the cage. He's like, no.
I could not even, it was like someone just, I don't know how to describe it. It felt horrible. It was a horrible experience. And then when we became the Sharks, that I realized I'm a horrible shark. Like, being a shark's hard work.
Shark. Oh, God.
Not a fan. Everyone has nets underwater, apparently. Who knew?
And that fucking guy, that killer rhino.
Killer rhino. F that guy.
Screw that guy. That expert comes in and ruins our day. What a fucker.
What a dick.
What a dick. He's probably in the chat right now. What a dick.
Basically, the second that you guys were done with that stream, TB messaged me on Skype and was like, so, totally got Jesse to play Dub on stream. I was like, fuck!
I
felt like it was my duty to get him over his crippling fear of sharks.
Oh, yeah,
know?
No, still, you failed. You failed. Now I have a crippling fear of you.
Just as planned, I think. Have you played Depth? Dan, have you had a chance to play that?
No, because I don't like sharks.
Ah!
Sharks are terrifying. They're I haven't played a lot of Far Cry Blood Dragon. It's like, go in this water. It's shark infested. Well, that was a great game up to that point. I'll give up there.
Oh, I'm with you on that.
Sharks are a fist with teeth in the water, and you can't see them until they're there. They're nature's jump scare. Who wants to deal with sharks?
You think here's the problem with depth. When you're a man, you're swimming underwater, everything's fine. Suddenly you're dead, right? It's like, no, that's why I don't go in the water, because suddenly you're dead. Yeah. But then when you play the shark, you're like, oh, I'm going to do the crazy shit that people did to me. Nope, you're just in a net now, and you're dead.
They're well organized, they completely destroy you.
Stupid depth. You suck.
Yeah, no, sharks are just too terrifying. It's like when they go like, oh, save the sharks, they're all dying. I'm like, good. Because if I'm ever stranded out in the ocean and I'm in the ocean, I'm like, oh, crap. Oh, hang on. All the sharks are dead. Oh, I'm happy
Everything's fine now.
Yeah.
They're like, but the fish population will go unchecked. Great. If I'm in the ocean, I scoop up a fish and eat it. I'll be fine.
I don't know that's how the ocean works.
You'd just be on this big pile of fish. And you'd be like, oh well.
Great. Yeah. You just walk
big pile of fish and hypodermic needles. That's one hell of a weekend.
Have either of you guys seen Unbroken?
No. Sounds
no. What?
Maybe just don't watch that movie.
Wait, what is
okay?
Oh!
Why?
Oh.
Why?
Because he's in the water. They're in the water and there's sharks.
They're stranded in the water for a really long time.
I saw it in the trailer, and that's why I'll never see that movie. Sorry.
Think about it's the same reason why I didn't watch, what was it, All Is Lost. I'm like, the ocean is fucking terrifying. Like, get that shit away from me.
Unbroken is one of those movies where you watch it and you're like, all of this can't be true. It is. All this crazy shit happened to this one guy, and he's just like, I don't even fucking know, guys.
Oh, man.
But yeah, maybe don't watch that movie, is all I'm saying.
Sounds like
not a fan of sharks.
Put that on the list of things that I will not watch.
Who is a fan of sharks?
Jaws 4 proves sharks know the concept of revenge. I don't. If movies have taught me anything, you do not mess with sharks. Just don't even do it.
They've learned the concept of flight through Sharknado, you know?
Not even. They've harnessed the wind. We have
so much quicker than anyone else.
By the sea. If Sharknado ever happens, you don't want to be by the sea.
No,
it's just
not at all. That seems like a terrible idea.
Inland, in a desert, locked in a bunker. It's the only safe place.
Or you can play Far Cry 4, where they're like, we can't put sharks in the Himalayas. Oh, but we can put a shark equivalent in the Himalayas. We can do that.
Here's the thing. Look, fingers crossed, I've yet to see one. And that's because I just nuke every body of water I come across in Far Cry 4. I'm like, nope, not even good. People are like, Jesse, there might be alligators. I'm like, grenades. Don't even care. I've yet to see one. It's going to stay that way.
Oh, man.
Don't even care.
Love it. What else have you been playing this week?
Honestly, you know, the usual stuff. Heroes and Dragon Age and a little Smite and Far Cry. And the other day I played way too much of TIE Fighter because I've been trying to like...
Oh,
look,
shit.
I forgot...
I should play again. I've got my X-52 plugged in for Elite. I should play TIE Fighter again.
I forgot how much I enjoy that game, but also how wonky the controls are. Because there's a lot of like, press F to do this.
There's a lot of buttons in that game.
Yeah,
lots of them.
There's like, match the speed of the enemy craft. I'm like, what button is that? Oh, yeah.
You just have to know.
I think I had a copy of the original TIE Fighter that came with an inlay that would like put over your keyboard, which would remind you of what all the fucking buttons were. Because holy shit. Yep. It has 6 different buttons for manipulating energy between shields, engines, and weapons. Like, it is old school, but if I can remember how to play that, I will play the shit out of it, because I love TIE Fighter. I gotta say, I played more, I think, of X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, because it had more of a multiplayer component. We used to play it on LAN. It was the fucking best. You play co-op, and you would all get in Y-Wings and go and fucking bomb a Star Destroyer. It was amazing.
Not even gonna lie, TIE Fighter was the game that made me a Star Wars nerd. Like, it made me want to know more, because you played as the Empire, so you got to see all the cool-ass Empire shit, and then it had, like, all the characters from
and you blew up in, like, 2 shots
in it. Oh, it was great. It was great. But, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Like, you can do all the tiny thing. Like, I make my shields at 10% while my weapons are, like, at 15. Like, you can change everything about your ship, and it's like, oh, no. Oh, no. Games have dumbed me down. I remember when this was easy for me. Now I'm like, M? Like, I don't know what to do anymore.
Yep. All right, well, that's happening after the show. I'm reinstalling TIE Fighter, and we're binding it to the X-52, and we're going to have a fucking whale of a time. It's going to be great.
It's a great game.
Yeah, hopefully they bring out X-Wing Alliance eventually on GOG. I'll play the shit out of that, too.
Yeah, if you can get past the controls being old school wonky, it is great. It is still a fantastic game. It is a lot of fun, and it doesn't play bad. It looks old. It's definitely dated, but it's a lot of fun. So,
there's something about
classic.
space games that can have horribly dated graphics and you'd still be okay with it. That's the weird thing about it. Like I'll go back to Free Space every once in a while. It's like, yeah, this looks like shit. I don't care. I'll go back to Starlancer. Yeah, this looks like shit. Doesn't matter. It's great.
Yep.
I suppose like now we're finally getting choices now that we have Elite Dangerous and we're gonna get Star Citizen sometime in the year 2027, and that's cool.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we've got some opportunities here. But going back to the old school space games, that shit does not get old. Free Space is still that fucking good.
I haven't played for a while.
Yep.
I feel like playing Free Space.
You were
again,
going,
especially.
bugs, I love bugs, squishing bugs and matching 3.
Dive, hit your burners, pilot. Oh, so
Or
good.
you're just going, I can't believe those bastards played depth without me. That's what's going on.
That's really what's happening in my brain
Yeah.
right now.
There's a
I'll play-
lot.
look,
Let me put it
I'll
this way:
play
when
Depth
Dodger goes
with
for
you.
revenge, she spends a long time planning it, and when it finally arrives, nobody expects it. She believes that revenge is a dish best served cold.
I learned it from the sharks.
Apparently so.
Sons of
Jesse's
bitches,
going to
they
get a
know.
giant box. Oh, I didn't remember ordering this.
They're
This
waiting
shop
off the
just fell
coast.
down.
They're waiting off the coast for me. They're just like, one day he has to go back in the water.
There's a box of hypodermic needles and sharks making its way to me as it speaks.
Probably to impress a girl, and then we get him.
It's like, I'm surprised that was Prime eligible, but hey, there you go. Learn something new every day.
Amazon
one of the
Prime is
drones
just getting
just
better and
drops
better
into
and
the
better.
Just drops hypodermic needles all over your house.
They use the drones for it. Yeah, they bring drones with sharks attached.
And then
like
there's a
full
shark
drones
just
with
like,
sharks.
got him.
Oh my
His
god.
little
Oh, his little fins.
Oh
He has
wow.
that awful Bruce Australian accent from the one movie with
From
Dora.
Finding Nemo.
Dory.
Yeah.
So I played a bunch of Supreme Commander 2.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, when it first came out, I hated that fucker.
Yeah, same here.
In my sort of proto days of, I think it was actually after I left WoW Radio, the little fan site that we used to do, and I moved to cynicalbrit.com, which at the time was an actual website. And I was desperately trying to make like $50 a month.
I remember when you
AdSense.
left me. I remember those days.
You were not
left.
even on staff, Jesse. Fuck you. You don't get to
I
pull that
was,
shit.
I was there, buddy.
You were a
left me.
guest host and an entrant to the WoW Idol Song Contest. You were not a member of staff.
It's like I'm family. It's like I was family.
You were not family.
Like
you ran
I
you ran a
was-
competing podcast. You ran the 10 Ton Hammer podcast, if I recall correctly, for a while.
I did run that.
Indeed.
until they were like, we can't afford to pay you anymore.
Yeah, sounds
So
about right.
congrats to
Turns
MMO,
out not a lot of money in podcasting. Who fucking knew,
Yeah,
right?
weird.
Yeah, but one of the articles that I wrote was like, I blasted Supreme Commander 2 for like 3 fucking pages because I loved the original Supreme Commander, and they changed the economy system to the point where I hated them for it. Like, I just despised what they did. And I went back a few years later, and I'd say, you know what, should I give Supreme Commander 2 another shot? And I did, and I'm like, you know what, the economy's still shitty, but this game's still kind of playable, and maybe I was a bit off on the research system. As one of the other things that I said when it first came out was, they changed the way that units worked. In Supreme Commander, it was kind of basic, right? You had 3 tiers, and then experimentals, which were basically tier 4. So you could make shitty tank, and then you built like a factory which could build an advanced builder, and then it would build a tier 2 factory, it would build less shitty tank, and then you kept going, and then you got like the least shittiest tank, which was like a tier 3 thing. And it was kind of cool because you could mix them up. Like, what I used to do was I'd buy like 200 tier 1 bombers and then slip 5 tier 3 bombers in the middle of the cloud of fucking shitty cannon fodder death, and then just send them at the enemy. And that was a bunch of fun. And what they did in Supreme Commander 2 was they put a research system in the game where they said, well, we're going to make sure every unit remains relevant, and you build the same tank, but you can, with research, add another gun on the tank, or now the tank floats across water, or now the tank has a shield. And at the time, I thought it was terrible. And looking back on it, it was actually kind of elegant, really. It was kind of a neat idea, because you could really sort of shift your strategy in the middle of the game. And it's like, fuck, I have a bunch of tanks and my tanks are losing. I better prioritize getting an upgrade for my tanks. Or it's like, well, fuck, I'm losing to tactical missiles. Let's get an upgrade for my tanks that has a laser that shoots the tactical missiles out of the sky. It was kind of cool and adaptive. And I also like the idea that they let you get experimental units, which were, let's be honest, the most fun fucking thing as Supreme Commander, out a lot earlier. It's like, and it was fucking stupid. Like, they went batshit off the rails. This is a giant dinosaur, and it breathes fire. And it's like, oh, okay then. I will have 3, if you don't mind. It's like, this is basically a UFO. We're not even going to pretend that it's anything else. It's a giant flying saucer. Yeah. There was like this thing like the super magnetron, which just sucks everything in and bounces it all over the place. It's like, these are all dumb. And that's great. Yeah. And yeah, actually, it's not as bad as I thought it was. It's still annoying in many ways. Like, it's like, oh, I can't build this because, like, I accidentally built the tank before and now everything's queued up and it's annoying. But, you know, it's not a bad game. And I think for the last few years, we've had no good RTS, so Supreme Commander 2 is looking a hell of a lot better in comparison. It's like, I've had a few drinks, and suddenly, Supreme Commander 2, you look a lot prettier than I remember. Let's have a conversation.
The problem with Supreme Commander 2 is whenever I play it, I go, I remember Supreme Commander 1 being a bit better. So I then go and install Supreme Commander 1, and then I go, I remember Total Annihilation being just a bit better than this. And I always end up playing Total A at the end.
Did you play Planetary Annihilation? Like, have you actually had a...
I haven't yet, because I know when I start playing it, it's going to absorb all my time, so I needed a run-up. I need to go, right, I've got a week free, then I just shut my door, and I'll go for it, and I'll come out in a week with an opinion.
I'm still in 2 nights. It's like, it's got its
that's
moments.
The thing. It's a lot of people have gone sort of like, it's...
Yeah.
It seems like as soon as I play that, I'll go, I remember Supreme Commander 2 being much better than this.
They just go back to
and then Luke just goes back to Total Annihilation.
It's got its, like, I enjoyed playing it when we had our friends over, like, just before Christmas, and we had a bit of a LAN. We just got, like, we just stuck our laptops in the dining room and we LAN stuff, and we LAN, like, Gauntlet, and we LAN Planetary Annihilation. And it's like, we're all bad and we know it, which means we're all kind of experimenting with dumb shit, so the game's kind of fun. Then you take that online and you're wrecked within 5 minutes because this guy has the optimal build order. And it's like, there's now 300 tanks in the middle of your base. Like, fuck my life. This is so hard.
I should install Supreme Commander 2.
I should.
See, Total Annihilation had the seaplane, which is the greatest ever unit of all. It was a plane that when it landed on sea, it would just go under the sea. So what you could do is, for the whole thing, you could build like little cloaking little things, so nobody could see you building the planes and putting them in the sea. And if you moved them a small amount, you could raise them up, move them forward, and then put them down before they came out of the sea. So you could slowly build on the entire sea floor.
An army of planes?
Just an army of planes that could take up like the whole map, and then like you just select them all and just right-click on enemy, and just the sea rises up, and the little mini-map just goes red. And they just go...
Total Annihilation...
Oh.
You can still play that game. Like, that game scaled really well because it actually had resolution options like way kind of before its time. So you could still play that game right now and it's still good. And it still has the queuing system and everything. So it's got like a lot of the features of modern RTS. I just remember building like as many Big Berthas as possible. The Big Bertha like artillery cannon. And then realizing I'd put it behind a hill that was slightly too high, and it was just like boom, boom. It kept firing into the hill. I'm like, why, Bertha? Why must you ruin me?
I wanted a small amount of terrain destruction. That's all that game needed. Just
a little bit. Just a bit.
Just tunnel through. Just to give yourself a nice little hole there.
That'd be good.
That game was the jam. Seaplanes, man. You did the scream because I used to play this, like you play it on land and other people are in other rooms and you move and you just wipe out someone's base and then the planes go back down in again and you just hear people swearing in the other room.
It's like, what the fuck was that? So someone's hidden a nuclear missile somehow in the corner of the map and you have no idea, and then your fucking commander explodes and takes everything with it. Like, oh.
Yep.
I need to have a few months of replaying old RTS. Like, because let's be honest, there aren't any good ones out at the minute outside of StarCraft 2. Grey Goo is coming out quite soon though. Like, that might be interesting. We'll see how that plays.
I've never heard it. Never even heard it.
Same guys that made Universe at War, and they were making, what the hell was that? Fuck, I can't even remember. They were making that game with Tryon, and then it fucking vanished off the face of the planet. It was this, like, big, massively multiplayer RTS, and then it kind of became a MOBA, and then it kind of became a nothing. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. I played it against Epic Mealtime. It didn't go well for him. Turns out. Turns out no one told him how to play RTS, which was a bit of a problem.
I don't know why.
Yeah, that was of all of the promo deals I've done in my life, I think that one was probably the strangest. It was like, okay then. I guess I'm playing this game against Epic Mealtime, and for some reason.
Ding.
I don't know. All right, has anyone played anything else this week?
No.
No.
Tried to play Elite Dangerous, didn't work.
What? Oh! I heard that you had a bunch of problems with the online system or something with that.
Yeah, it just kept kicking me out. I must have got it on a bad time. Like the first time, I finally got my ship out because the tutorials are kind of strange. Like I was playing through the tutorials, and then I got to one that's like, okay, this is the advanced battle. Be ready for the advanced battle. This is someone who's stronger than you. It's like, I'm ready. And you go into the thing, and as soon as you load it up, it's like, success, well done, you did it. And I was like, oh my god, I'm amazing! Or he just probably spawned in an asteroid. But so after that, I just went straight into the game. And as soon as I flew out, I clipped the side of my the spaceship, I suppose, on the dock exit. And I just span off, and I was like, oh crap! And I hit a button, and it fired and just shot a guy. There was just a guy just coming in, and it just shot him. And then I just got vaporized. I was like, oh my god's sake! Literally, I was like 8 feet out of the dock before I had my first death. And then it just dropped out, and I could get into it again.
I think I was 6 when I played the first Elite, and I got fucking furious at it because docking in Elite is really hard. So I eventually had to cheat in order to get a docking computer to do it automatically. But you had to kind of rotate your ship to match up with the entrance. And if you didn't, you crashed and died, and that was it. And I was just a screaming 6-year-old at that game. And this game reminds me of that. It's weird because it's a lot of busy work. It's a lot of stupid shit, like unnecessary. All of the docking and undocking is something you have to do yourself. So you've got to request permission to dock, and then you've got to kind of align and make sure you're spinning at the right angle. Then you fly inside the station. Then you've got to find the landing pad that it assigned you, and then you've got to land on it. And leaving is the same. You've got to not crash into things on the way out. And somehow
too much.
But it's somehow really satisfying. I don't know what
it
is. It's space house work, and somehow it's really fulfilling. And I don't know what
space house work.
Space house work, yeah.
Yeah, I think part of a sim, part of a space sim or any sim is the dumb shit that seems boring, and yet is actually really fun to do when you end up, especially if you've got a flight stick, because it really does feel like you're in a spaceship. It's like I got a hand here on this, and there's the flight stick here, and I'm kind of moving it around, and I'm twisting the flight stick in order to make sure I'm aligned properly. I'm slowly accelerating out. That's really quite satisfying.
I've clipped the dock. Oh god!
Yeah, then you explode
every time. I had because the first time as I was taking off the first time, I had the throttle forwards, and I had no idea. And as soon as it took off, it just went. Boom, just straight into the front thing, and then I span off it. I crashed twice before I am the worst at space. There's so many things to hit, you'll be surprised, all right? Yeah. It's difficult. And then it was just, there was a sun, and things went wrong, and I just,
It's
I
space
struggle
parking.
in space.
Space parking is all that is.
That's space parking simulator, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's Euro Truck Simulator 2, but in space.
In space. It actually is in many ways, actually.
It really is. It's like I take these things over there and sell them for more money. It's great.
Oh, man. Did I play anything? Is there anything else we've been playing this week? Anything at all? Oh, I downloaded something called Puzzle Forge 2 on iOS.
Uh-huh.
That game's way too hard. Dodge will probably like it. I can't do it because I'm an idiot. You are a blacksmith, and you are forging items in an RPG town, kind of like Racketeer in some ways. And you do it sort of via a puzzle thing. You've got to have all the parts sort of align in the right order next to each other. You put ore on the board, and then ore combines into a part, and then you have to have the part line up with this part to make this sword, and swords have stats and you can make rare items.
Well, that sounds super fun.
Yeah.
What's that called?
Puzzle Forge 2, I believe is the name of it. And I am too dumb to play this game. I am a moron. I can't do it. I want to. It's such an interesting idea. It sounds right up my alley. Because there was that other one, what was it like? Oh, God, I can't remember the name of it. It was that game where it was basically a match 3 with and you were running a little kind of fantasy RPG town, and you were using the match 3 to go mining and get stuff, and you were aligning sheep, and you were having to move the wolves out of the way and shit. It was something craft. Oh God, what's the name of it?
Towncraft. Citycraft.
Citycraft sounds about right, but it definitely wasn't.
The Craftables.
Village Craft. The Incraftables.
The Incraftables.
It was like, 'cause I literally spent a bunch of time matching 3 with wheat for hours on end. It became a game that I actually would play on flights because I found it so calming that I could deal with the horrible nature of a flight. So I used to play that. But I can't remember the name of it. It was something
Craftington on Hampshire.
Simcraft?
Simcraft?
No.
And
Town.
Simcraft. That is the most generic name.
No, Craft.
It's not Puzzlecraft. No.
No, it was Puzzlecraft, wasn't it? Was it Puzzlecraft?
No.
Yeah, it was Puzzlecraft. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, a lot of that game is about aligning sheep with other sheep. And chickens. And combining things together to make better food.
Oh my god, that's
People
exactly
and
what
a grinder
it is.
to make Soylent Green.
Oh.
Yes. And like getting carrots. But the problem is there could be rats that came and eat you. I'm not making this sound very fun, am I?
No, not
The
really.
cameras are going to turn off in a
pulling
minute.
a
You'll be
me.
fine.
Yeah,
You're making this game sound really boring.
I'm a fucking
It's just
terrible critic. Holy
typically.
shit. Oh my god. I haven't done a WTF in a couple of weeks and it's showing. I've lost my ability to talk about video games.
Oh, it's happened. We knew it happened.
Yeah,
one day.
Puzzlecraft. That was fucking great. Like I think that they may have gone a bit. I think they've gone like microtransaction with it now, which is a bit disappointing. But yeah, Puzzlecraft and iOS was kind of awesome.
This Puzzle Forge game doesn't. I don't. Maybe it's because of the joyful looking cartoon atmosphere. But I'm having a hard time imagining this game being very difficult.
I might be pointing. No, it is possible. Yeah, this game is rock solid. Trust me. Do not believe anything the screenshots tell you. This game is a fucking nightmare.
I've downloaded it. I've downloaded it now.
Yeah.
But like.
Oh, the nice thing about Puzzle Forge is as well, there's barely any microtransactions in it. Basically, it's free. You pay $3 to remove the ads. They have like wisdom stones, which kind of like are boosters. But outside of that, it seems like it's not balanced around microtransactions, which is good. And it's surprisingly hard to find games like that these days.
Yeah.
Shockingly difficult.
Back in the day, you used to buy a game, and that was the game you got. Wasn't that what the EA
When
guy
I
said
was a
on
kid.
stage? Like he was like, "Oh, back in the day, you used to buy a game. That was the game you got," and then went off on how that was a good thing.
Yeah, it is. And then they released Dungeon Keeper.
Why are they killing fantastic series off? They're really trying their hardest to kill off Roller Coaster Tycoon and Dungeon Keeper.
SimCity, they just released a
SimCity.
SimCity game, which is basically a cow clicker. They're releasing another Need for Speed game on which is going to be awful, no doubt.
Yeah.
Because those make them the most money.
They do. They make them a lot of money. Gotta admit. You know.
But the Venn diagram of people who used to play those games and people who play mobile games doesn't seem like it's the biggest
It doesn't
overlap
overlap
in the
at
world.
all, actually.
Yeah. It's like it's people like me and then people like I don't know who plays these
People
games.
who believe that the Kim Kardashian game is the most like influential game of 2014.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, I know it was a bad year
my
for
God.
games, but come the fuck on.
It's really influential because it has microtransactions and stuff, and you get to dress up, girls.
There's thousands of games that let you do that.
Now I'm in. I didn't know you could play some girls.
That's how you critic, yeah.
I want to play now.
How do I journalism?
That game is a nightmare. Like you literally can't play that game without spending money on it. I didn't spend any money on it, but that's why I stopped playing it, because everything that you need to do is like, yeah, if you give me this much money, then I'll totally help you out with that thing. And it's
God.
I would have to play this game for a year to get that much money just in the game.
I wish so
annoying.
I haven't played it, but I imagine it's literally just Kim Kardashian being like, yeah, no, I can help you level this game if you give me your money. And it's just a link to it, like where to put in your credit card. It's a picture of Kim Kardashian, like,
It's actually a picture
thanks.
of Kim Kardashian's ass, and then you just swipe the card.
Just like, boop, boop. That's how that works.
My
She's
God.
like,
But yeah,
thanks.
that's it. That's pretty much it.
I mean,
That's how you know it's kind of
the kind of
slow,
sad
yeah.
thing about that game is that would actually be a really interesting game if it was properly put together, because it reminds me of one of the old school management games. No, really, like you play a vapid Hollywood celebrity, and you have to deal with all of the politics of being a vapid Hollywood celebrity. I could dig that. I think that would make a really interesting game.
Yeah.
Just
Like fake sham marriages?
Version is, yeah.
Oh yes,
That'd be a great game. Like you have a little thing that's like your meter of popularity and what like list celebrity you are, and you have to stay A-list, and so you have to do crazy shit to stay an A-list celebrity.
Do you realize that's literally how the Kim Kardashian game works, right?
Oh, I have never look. I've never seen it. So
the problem is that you have to do microtransactions to do all of them.
You're trying to become an A-list celebrity. You have a popularity meter. You're trying to like meet as many influential people as possible to help you become more popular.
Can you sleep with someone who's more famous than you and make a video of it to become famous, and then somehow get on TV shows and somehow get your whole family involved in the process?
I don't know what you're talking about, Jesse.
Does that work? Because man, if that's how you could do stuff like that, you would break the system. I feel like that's cheating. I feel like cheating. Oh my God. Then if you could cheat your way to the top and somehow make a video game to make yourself even more money, God. Woo! Thank God that doesn't happen in reality.
I feel like we've gone down the rabbit hole a little too far here.
Jesse feels a lot of feelings, we've realized.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of the sad thing, isn't it? Like, it does sound like that. I would actually play a game like that. I would, if it wasn't a microtransaction-ridden piece of crap, which unfortunately it is. So can I make a strange admission? So there's a Desperate Housewives game on PC, and it's surprisingly good.
Oh, no spoilers! I'm actually literally watching through Desperate Housewives. Series 7,
this is a game that actually, like, it was IGN gave it an 8.2, and I actually think it deserved that. Like, it is literally actually quite an interesting game.
Typing now.
It's pretty old. It was developed by Liquid Entertainment, who actually made Battle Realms, if you remember them. They made some amazing games. They made, Battle Realms. They made the Lord of the Rings War of the Ring game. They made Dungeons & Dragons Dragon Shard, and then they made Rise of the Argonauts, and everything went to hell. But then they made Desperate Housewives, and it was actually a good video game. So there you go.
I'm playing the hell out of that.
Oh, yeah.
I love this Desperate Housewives. It is the most insanely batshit comedy. It's so self-aware, it's insane. You should totally watch it. Like when they get to like a midpoint of every season, like a massive disaster happens, and I'm talking like there's a tornado hits the lane one year, a plane crashes into the lane.
Obviously.
And like they just kill off
Why
characters.
would you still live here if this was happening?
It really is. Like there's like
so
there are so many people. Like the death count is ridiculous. Like it's a series of 24 is where you're getting the same level of death count.
Oh my God.
And it's just ridiculous.
I've never watched the show. I
unaware.
think I should actually.
You generally should. It's also a really well put together murder mystery. That's what I love about it. Is it's a genuinely well put together murder mystery, and it has like really actually just insane manipulative characters.
A wife in town dies, right? That's the beginning of the show.
Yeah, she's the narrator. It's voiced by her. She's the narrator of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So she kills herself and then is the narrator.
So there's a ghost housewife that's narrating the whole thing.
Yeah, she commits suicide in the opening scene, and then she's the narrator, and so she's telling the lie.
So basically, she didn't die in the opening. She comes back in the last episode and is like,
I
tricked you fools! That's what you're telling me.
No, because she knows the future, so she as a narrator can tease what's going to happen in the show.
I called the ending. No, she's not dead. She's
Ghost Housewife.
She's alive.
She's very dead.
Nope. That was her twin sister, Esmeralda. She's back.
Wouldn't be surprised if that genuinely happens in it, but it's fine.
Well, once I'm done with the seminal classic that is The West Wing, Desperate Housewives is on the list. You know, and before we kind of go to the break, like, there's one point that I'd just like to make about the Desperate Housewives game, and I know you guys going, what the fuck are you even talking about this for? Because here's the thing, like, a lot of the time when people make games that are specifically aimed at a female demographic, they're fucking awful.
Terrible.
And that is a huge disservice. And I think, like, you can make a game like Desperate Housewives and make it good and aim it at a female demographic, and everyone's happy with that. And you can mock that all you damn well please, but I don't think you should be mocking that, because it's the same problem about making shitty video games for kids. Like, it's the same issue. Because, like, children are not, like, the big spender demographic, people just say, oh, yeah, we're just going to make it for kids, so it could be shitty. We could just make a Nickelodeon game, and it can be bad. We could just make a game for women that's just loaded with microtransactions, because they're dumb and don't know what they want. Fuck everything about that. You know? Yeah. I am in full favor of making really good video games for every fucking demographic. And good video games sell themselves. I think that you would find that people, if you made a lot of good games that were aimed specifically at a female demographic, not only would females play them, but males would play them as well because they like good video games. And because some of these things are actually interesting and different. Yeah?
Yeah, I hate that you have that argument all the time for kids. It's aimed at kids. It doesn't matter that it sucks. No, it really matters because there's awesome things for kids.
Yeah.
Kids play awesome stuff. Kids know good games. They genuinely
stop
do. They're not
selling
gonna
them
play-
shit. Like, all you are doing is creating family strife. Because the kid's mother went out and tried to do a nice thing, bought him something that he watches on TV, and it ends up being a complete steaming pile of crap. And then for the next 3 weeks, all he wants to do is destroy the house.
Yeah.
I feel you are personally responsible for that if you develop a terrible video game for a minority demographic. So, just saying, it's okay to make games for specific demographics. It's not okay to patronize those demographics by making shit for them.
I've just bought the Desperate Housewives game.
Fantastic. There you go. There's your next video. Sorted. You'll be surprised about how not awful that game is. Like,
I look forward to it. Yeah, I was surprised about how not awful Desperate Housewives was, so I'm just going to carry this on. It'd be a great game. Because Desperate Housewives got the murder mystery. Imagine if you had some sort of like Animal Crossing kind of game, but you were an undercover detective trying to fit in with some happy universe because there was a murder here or something, and you had to try and work out who did it. How cool would that be?
That would be awesome.
I would play like every day you're playing it, and you're like
trying not to get caught while you're investigating because you don't want to destroy the happy atmosphere.
So you're doing this like shit. It's like, it's the bug catching tournament, and you don't turn up. They're like, what the hell are you at a bug catching tournament? I would. I want that game now. Somebody in the comments, get on it. That's what you do.
Make that.
That shit is already on Greenlight. That's already on Greenlight. I'm just saying.
So upset. It's like, you haven't done a video of Dragon Age Inquisition yet, but you're talking about Desperate Housewives? Yes, because frankly, Desperate Housewives is a more interesting game than Dragon Age Inquisition is. I'm sorry. I completely stalled on that
game. The tone of this show, and I'm proud of it.
I'm
agreeing.
Not true. I don't want to get into it again, because for weeks we've come across the same damn thing. It's like, yes, we get it. You don't like Dragon Age Inquisition that much. No, I don't. I'm sorry. Like, I wish I did.
But Desperate Housewives, the game.
Desperate Housewives, on the other hand, now that's my jam. Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to it now.
That is a jar of delicious fruity jam.
What the fuck?
From this
What?
What is happening?
It's a jar of fruity jam? I don't even...
We don't unfruity jam.
You
Fruits
really
make the
haven't
best
done a lot of
jam.
reviews lately.
No.
That game is just a jar of fruity jam. Yep, it is. Fuck it, we can just
start rating it based on fucking preserves. This is 7 marmalades out of 9, this one. And I'm going to rate how socially progressive this jam is. What has happened? This is because of 2014. This is because games journalism has been so fucking stupid the last year. It's turned me into this. I am a product of that. Thanks, Polygon.
He has 4 bathrobes now.
I have 5.
Look what you've done. 5 bathrobes
5
now.
bathrobes.
I'm still open to people sending me bathrobes to my P.O. box so I can ship them to TV. Just saying. I've yet to check.
I'm going to write myself an article on the worst representations of bathrobes in 2014 in video games.
Yes, can you do a top 10 bathrobes of 2015?
No, top 7. People will click it more. Never give it a top 10.
Oh, yeah, top 7.
You won't believe what's at number 6.
Suede. Ooh, the weirdest.
Oh my.
No idea. Yeah, top 7. You always do it. That's what clickbait always does. It's always an odd number. It's got to be a strange number. Yeah, it's like a number you wouldn't think about, and it makes you click it more.
It's also less
I think
effort.
I know the top 5, but I have no idea what the top 7.8 best fruity
top
jams
17.
are. I'll have to click that link.
Oh, that's a lot of stuff that I maybe haven't seen before.
Yes.
Oh man.
Welcome to the world of journalism.
Journalism.
Modern journalism.
Journalism.
Yeah, that's an article.
I could go on a rampage today about the stupid bullshit. So my country did a dumb thing. As well as Dan has probably noticed. So we gave a fucking MBE to someone that literally thinks Hurricane Katrina was caused by the gays. So we are a country of fucking idiots for that.
It's a choice.
But it's that, you know what's stupid is that's not what annoys me most about it. And I'm furious about that. What I'm more furious about is the only reason that it actually got in the news to begin with is because fucking Ellen Page tweeted fuck that about it. The Independent! This is a paper so large that tables were invented to be big enough to handle it. This is a broadsheet. I used to buy The Independent because it had so much paper that we could use it to, like, mop up stains on the floor for weeks to come. It's impossible to read this thing. They had to make a compact version of The Independent, which was slightly larger than a regular newspaper. This was a paper that I respected and actually bought and was good. And what is their biggest article on their website? Yeah, so Ellen Page is really upset about this on Twitter. It's like, everyone else is really upset about this. They didn't have to tweet about it because it's fucking stupid.
Yeah. I don't get the thought where you go, oh, gays cause hurricanes, because your actual thought from there should be, we should ship them to places that have crappy weather and need the rain. We should just send them over. That's what they should. They should be saying gays cause hurricanes. They should be saying ship the gays out because they really could do some good over there if they genuinely cared about people.
Ship the gays out because they could really do some good. Let's just, you know what? Tumblr. I don't even need to speak anymore. I'm just gonna let you do your thing. I'm gonna let you mark this for triggers. There's a trigger website out there that's just like, whoa!
Oh, the Game Grumps trigger website?
That's my favorite website.
Oh my god.
The Game Grumps trigger website, where it's like, at minute
trigger sausages
in their video.
Sausages?
Love it. So that's the thing. Also, can
we go to a break before we piss off a lot more people?
We should probably move on.
Stop, Jesse. Jesse, stop.
Let's go to a break best on.
I
just want to point out one of the last things that was said before we went to the break was ship the gays off to somewhere that needs hurricanes. You're watching the Co-Optional Podcast. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Co-Optional Podcast for the final hour or so of the show. Let's get right into some news.
There was none.
Go on.
Thus ends the news.
Indeed, we're done.
I learned a thing over the break.
Oh, really? What was that?
I learned that wood butter is a thing that exists.
What, butter made out of actual wood?
No. So, see, that's what I thought. I was like, what the fuck is
it a
wood
euphemism
butter?
for some kind of depraved sex act?
Oh,
it's
TV, that's what I thought.
Of course you did, Jesse. Of course you did.
No, wood butter is like what you would put on nice wood things to moisten up the wood so that it doesn't like dry out and then separate.
Still think you're talking about something dirty.
Wood butter.
Wood butter.
So was there a particular reason for you talking about this, or?
Yeah, is this news?
I just always have.
PlayStation 5 will be made out
There's
of
a new
wood
game
butter.
called Wood Butter.
Oh, okay. Is there microtransactions in it by any chance?
Of course, obviously.
Naturally. That's two separate currencies, wood and butter. The butter is premium.
Wood butter. It sounds like a fat person thinking about things, and he just sees something and goes, I would butter that. That's wood butter. If it's something he would butter, wood butter.
Wood butter.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Butter.
I did get an anime bullshit thing that I can show off that none of you will give a shit about. So I have.
Well, I'm glad to be pre-warned on this.
Yeah,
that's my new dirty thing. I'm gonna let you know. Wood butter.
Wood butter.
I
have a Kuroko figurine that I bought a long time ago, and then I found out that they came out with a much rarer alternate costume version, and so I just bought that. And I'm never taking him out of the box, and I'm so excited. There he is. It's his basketball outfit, but the away version. So now I have the home version and the away version, and they look awesome. They're identical, except the colors are different.
You're literally throwing your money away.
Not for me.
I would be a hypocrite to complain about that, considering every time I end up with new fucking X-Wing miniatures or Star Trek shit or stuff from Yu-Gi-Oh! Heroes, I show it on the show. So I don't have anything to say.
I figured that, at least TB would be like, you know what? Just
I get it. I get it.
So, but I'm getting to the point now. One of the figures in the exact same series is like this tall, and so he won't go on my bookshelf. And now I feel like I'm almost getting to the point where we need something that's actually supposed to be for figurines.
You're gonna buy a figurine display thing.
Co-optional figurines, for instance. So yeah, I actually I'm making progress on that front. So I spoke to. Yeah, I was able to get in touch with a potential manufacturer. We're talking numbers at the moment. So we'll see. I'm not going to promise anything. I'm just saying it's what we want to do. A lot of people have expressed a shitload of interest in co-optional animated figurines, like the kind of little Tokyo Pop size little things.
As long as they are accurate.
We're working on it. Accurate. Okay, right.
How accurate?
We'll make sure you have a large enough belly, Jesse, I'm sure. It'll cost a little bit extra for all the material we have to use.
Accurate, if you know what I mean, TB.
Wood butter, yeah.
Wood butter.
Yeah. We're working on it. We're working on it. Okay, let's talk about the news. So, PlayStation Now, the service that literally nobody asked for, has announced that you can now get a subscription to the thing, which will give you access to most of the stuff.
Great.
Yes,
Untrue. Untrue that nobody asked for this.
Okay.
Because when we realized that backwards compatibility was not going to be a thing, then this was an option that was suggested.
Yes, yeah. It would be unfair to suggest that. I think a lot more people would have certainly preferred that the damn thing was backwards compatible in the first place.
Yes, of course.
Superior option, yeah.
Yeah. But they've now announced a subscription program after beta testing this damn thing, and a lot of people saying these prices are completely out of whack. Like, a lot of them are very strange. Like, they just seem completely arbitrary at times. Like, well, you can rent this game for 7 days for about $2, but this game, which came out in the same year, well, that's going to be $4 for 3 hours of play. So, and people are like, what is going on with this? And I tried the service, and it did not work well. I'm going to be honest. It did not work well at all. It worked worse than OnLive did, and OnLive wasn't that great. PlayStation Now...
cloud gaming?
What is cloud gaming? Apparently, it's a bunch of bullshit. So they're offering this package, which is $19.99 a month or 3 months for $45 with 100 plus PlayStation 3 games on it, which is certainly a lot better than the what they were doing previously. Although one has to wonder, one, if that many people actually want to play PlayStation Now games, and secondly, if the games that are on the subscription are things you actually want to play either. I'm looking at it, and I'm seeing a great deal of things that I could play on PC here. Like, there's almost no exclusives on the list. They've got God of War on there. This image is tiny. I don't know why it's so fucking small. Yeah, let's see. They've got God of War on there. They've got the Killzone games on there. But a lot of stuff they've got on there is things that, well, you could play on PC right now that, I guess you don't have to worry about. But I suppose they're marketing it towards people that don't have gaming PCs. Still, though, I mean, it's an improvement, but I don't know if they're going to get widespread adoption of this thing.
Well, I think for a while there was a rumor about it just becoming part of a PlayStation Plus subscription. So, like, PlayStation Plus subscriptions would just go up, and then you would be able to play all those. I feel like this is the better option, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
For them to be separate.
Yeah, because, I mean, they're jacking this up pretty heavily. What I expect to happen is that they'll start rolling specific games into PlayStation Plus. Like, they'll say, well, this month on PlayStation Now, you can play Infamous and God of War for free. It's kind of as a dangle it in front of them and say, look, use this service over and over and over again until people eventually do decide to do that.
Right.
But ultimately, not only do PS3 games not look that great right now, PS3 games on PlayStation Now look even worse.
Yep. Because
they're pixely as shit. Like, I tried playing BlazBlue. Oh my god, that was a mistake. They made that game look disgusting as a result. It was horrible. I thought, well, it's a 2D game. I'm sure it'll be fine. No, it will not be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And there are plenty of other games that end up looking a lot worse as a result of being on PS Now. And what worries me more is if they eventually decide, this is the way we're going to sell games now. I'm like, I fucking hope not. Oh.
That would be horrible. I don't like the idea of just the latency issues. Yeah. Because I've not played it. I have no idea how bad they can be, and they're pretty bad. Sound like they could be pretty bad. Yeah.
They're not great.
It's like you have to think. You can go.
Oh, all I was going to say is if they were able to fix that problem, like if there weren't any latency issues, if the lag was non-existent, if like the frame rate and the resolution was, pretty good, then you could make the argument you're paying the amount for one game and you get to play all of these games for the entire month, so it's like it's a good deal as long as you make the games playable.
Works. Yeah.
If the games aren't playable, it's worthless. Yeah.
It's the same with OnLive was a good deal. There's another service that's been around for ages, which is not a cloud service. It was in Europe. It's called Metaboli. And I was...
I thought you meant that it was literally called Not a Cloud.
No, it should be. It should be. That would be a great thing. Metaboli... I actually was subscribed to this when I was at university because it was a shitload cheaper than buying video games. It was about £8 a month, and you had to download this thing through like their DRM, but it was the full game. Like, you couldn't mod it or anything, but you downloaded the full game through their provider, and you played it, and it was decent value. I mean, right now they've got stuff like Contrast on there. They've got Space Run on there, which is a great game, by the way. They've got like a bunch of older stuff, which is good. Like Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 Deluxe is on there. Thief Deadly Shadows is on there. Desperate Housewives is on there. Just saying.
Dan literally just bought that game.
Yeah.
It's straight to Amazon immediately.
Yeah, and that service was pretty good. Like, if you're on a budget, especially since at the time when this service was more relevant, Steam sales, like the big Steam sales, were really not a thing. Like, Steam was pointless. I remember downloading Half-Life 2 I was at uni at the time when they released that, and Steam just crapping itself completely. I mean, it took about 2 hours to decode Half-Life 2. I woke up in time for that, and I was furious, and everyone was so pissed off at Steam. But now it's like, well, you can get all sorts of cheap stuff. So I guess like a service like Metaboli's may be less relevant. But that service worked. Like, whereas PlayStation Now, that's entirely up to whether or not PlayStation Network is working properly, or whether or not there's random lag on your connection that day, or whether or not your Wi-Fi is throwing a hissy fit because there's one too many mobile phones in the area. That's the problem. Like, there's so many things that can go wrong with that.
Yeah.
You'd have to think about not playing at peak times as well.
Yeah.
Because if your internet's slow, you won't get as good thing. You'd be like, I better play this at 4, wait till 4 in the morning, and then I go have a good go at this.
Yeah, because it will also literally degrade your gaming experience.
Yeah, you'll have a better experience if you're playing when nobody else is. But it's weirdly competing with itself, because PS Plus is actually a really good deal.
Oh, yes.
And gets you a ridiculously large amount of games. I mean, because I've got the 2 consoles on the Vita, that's 6 games a month, which is $50 a year, and this new service is $180 a year.
A lot of them are good as well. Like, they don't put bad games on that.
How much is it for a year? 180?
180 for the PlayStation Now, I assume. Yeah, because you said it was 45. So
yeah. If you want a PlayStation Now, it'll be 180 a year because you can buy it in 3-month chunks, and that's the best deal. Like, because it's the equivalent of $15 a month instead of $20 if you buy it that way. But PlayStation Plus is what? $5-6 a month if you buy a couple of months at a time?
It's $50 for a year. $50 for a year.
$50 for a year for PlayStation Plus is stupid good value. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, it's six games a month.
PlayStation Plus is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out, and this is just me, the math on this, because I can't even begin to figure out a way to justify spending money on this.
What, $20 a month for PlayStation Now?
Yeah, like I don't know why you would, when you could go out and get a PlayStation 3 and use PlayStation Plus and get, I would say, a better value.
Well, yeah, because a lot of these games that are on there have actually at some point been available on PlayStation Plus, and as long as you pick them up, then you still have them on your account.
Like, I can't, I'm sitting here looking at numbers, and I can't figure out why, like, I don't know that there's $108 worth of games for PlayStation 3 that I would want to replay in this. Like, I can't justify, I don't know, maybe if you missed the generation, and you were like, I was busy on Xbox playing Halo, and I missed all the PlayStation things. Yeah, maybe
it's still better off buying like a $80 PlayStation 3 used.
And just the ones off the list you want.
I just don't. And then if you went month to month, you're paying like $230 some instead. So like, it's insane. I don't understand why anyone would do this, but you know,
it's outside the comfort zone, I think, because I mean, if you think about it, these subscription services are really good for gamers that are on a budget, but simultaneously, you don't find gamers that are on a budget signing up to monthly subscription services. Particularly, it's like, shit, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I remember, I think it was Metaboli drove me into my overdraft on more than one occasion, or my WoW subscription did that. It's like, if you are living paycheck to paycheck on low budget, you do not subscribe to things. Like, this is a bad idea.
I mean, and that's like one of the biggest, oldest scams, like those things like rent to own. Like, you can get this giant ass TV, you can rent to own this.
Yeah, you pay twice as much.
$15 a month, but you're paying way more. And I think this is the exact same thing. Like, you can rent these games, and but you're paying an exorbitant amount for what you will actually, unless you're like, I need to play old school games. I don't think anyone's gonna play that many, because honestly, there's only a few that you would play, and after you're done, you're not gonna get any new ones for it. You have the same library that you always had because it's the past. It's not going to change. You're not going to time travel back and get new PlayStation 3 games all of a sudden. Like, it's a really weird, I don't know. It just doesn't add up to me.
Yeah, I think it is the competition with PlayStation Plus that makes it the silliest. Because I think if that service didn't exist, you could maybe make an argument for this. But I really, really do not see that many people using this service, especially since you get worse quality than you would from just buying a PlayStation 3 and like picking up a used copy of whatever, which is probably not going to cost you too much these days. You know, I've always advocated for this. If you're a gamer on a budget, wait till the start of a new console generation. Previous console, not only do you now know what the best games are for it, they each cost about £5. So go. You know, it's a great time to pick it up.
Totally.
Yeah. We'll go another generation back. Get a PS2. Go to like a used game store and buy games for 25p.
PS2 was the golden age. There were so many good PS2 games.
Absolutely.
Go get a PS2.
Totally.
Go get all the games.
I just brought a brand new one quite recently, and I just go to like used game shops or even flea market stuff, and you can just pick up games for like
just
60
incredible
cents.
games.
Yeah.
Like all of these games are amazing. They're really good.
And I just buy them all. Just buy them all.
That's a much better deal. That's a much better. PlayStation 3 is a little bit. PlayStation 2, that is when things rocked. I'd go do that.
Yeah.
That's a genius idea.
Well, PS2 was like the generation where you could deal with kind of the graphics not being so great. PS1, early 3D games, like, oh, fuck. But PS2, it's like, no, this is like...
PS2
and there's still games like...
It's that nice level.
There's still games like Rogue Galaxy and Akami that still look good because they had like a really cool aesthetic. Or Dragon Quest 8, man. Dragon Quest 8. There's a game I'd rather play than Dragon Age. Holy shit. Dragon Quest 8, amazing game. Fuck yes.
Look, Ace Combat 5, still my favorite PlayStation. PlayStation 2 game. I can play that game all day.
It's called Belkin War. Oh, damn. I need a new PS2.
A new PS2.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you don't really. Like, PS2 emulation has got good enough now that you can, if you just, like, buy the games, like, for $2 each or whatever, you can play them on a powerful PC and they'll look good. Like, I was playing God Hand on PS2 emulator. It's good. Works fine. Like, PS2 emulation is mature enough now that most of the stuff you want to play probably works.
Isn't it great? This is the future.
This is the world we live in, yeah.
I love my PC.
PCs,
All right,
they let you play the consoles.
Let's move on to something else that really nobody has asked for. So we've got another renewed push on the Android console thing. Obviously, CES has turned up. And CES being CES is like, we've got a bunch of new devices that nobody will buy. But NVIDIA announced that they've got a new chip out, the new Tegra chip, and which is even more powerful than the previous Tegra chip or whatever. And there's a couple of Android consoles that are going to be using Tegra and things like that. I just want to kind of go around the room and get your thoughts on the notion of kind of an Android console, because I own the Shield tablet and I've got the Shield handheld as well, and they're both they're not bad, like they're both pretty good, but then you've got things like the Ouya, which if I recall correctly, Dan, you have an Ouya, right?
Yes, I do. Yes,
and it doesn't get used for much, I imagine, does it?
It is entirely an emulation machine, nothing more. It is a NES and SNES sitting under my TV. That's all it's there for.
Mm-hmm. Which makes me wonder, like, there's a lot of people trying the whole Android console thing. Is it even worth it? I believe Razer just announced one. I'm just going to look at the information on that. Razer unveils its $100 Android-powered gaming console. They're calling it the Razer Forge TV. And that's what a lot of people are calling these Android consoles now. They're calling it kind of a TV, almost like this is an add-on for your television. This is like turning your TV into a smart device. Let's see. So it's $100. What's it powered by? Oh, there's a mouse and keyboard as well. That's nice. It's powered by. This is powered by. Pollard isn't even a word. What the fuck am I talking about? The Qualcomm Snapdragon 805 or whatever that is, and high-end graphics engine, whatever that means on mobile. So in other words, not at all.
It's interesting to assume. I assume there's a lot of like behind the curtain stuff where like deals are made and we'll work with you if you work with us on this and we'll create something that sort of pimps your thing that you do and we'll do this. Like, I don't know that anyone believes this will be a success. I just know that there's probably money involved on a promotional level. That's the reason why these things exist. There's no way, I'm going to give them credit, there's no way a bunch of people who make gaming things sat down and said, you know what mobile users want the most is to play their mobile games on their TV at home, because that's where the real money is. I don't think anyone has ever said that. Like, the whole point of mobile games is because mobile games, you can take them wherever you want.
They're mobile, and you can play a few rounds in a couple of minutes while you're either on the toilet or waiting for a bus or whatever.
I'm gonna assume that they are smarter than that, and this is probably just like, yes, well, my Qualcomm guy is gonna give you this, and then we'll put this together, and we'll just jerk each other off, and that's how we're gonna make this thing. Like, I assume that's what the behind-the-scenes stuff
is.
That's
how things are made, guys. They just jerk each other off, and then we make things.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah. You think that's a joke? You think that's a joke? Go to a boardroom, my friends. A lot of jerk-offs.
But a lot of these things end up being used as, for those who like don't have smart TVs, like, oh, well, there's a Netflix app on it, so Like, my quest has been find the easiest way to get Netflix onto the television. Because, like, I have a smart TV, and it's not very good at it. Like, it's the apps are kind of clunky, and I ended up finding out eventually that the Amazon Fire TV is, like, the best solution for a lot of that stuff, because it's quicker, it's got the voice control, which is actually very good.
Actually like the Fire TV.
Yeah, the Fire TV
is kind of crazy.
I mean, it's got games on it as well. I mean, they're not brilliant, but, like, you can play Minecraft on it, you can do a few other things with it, but, yeah, the Fire TV is actually pretty good, and it seems like it's this weird hybrid war between, like, we want to make an Android console, and we want to make a set-top box, essentially, something that kind of controls the living room, and everyone's trying to fucking do that at the moment. So it's such a strange idea. But, I mean, what do you think of the theory that people they're throwing out a lot of these Android consoles because they want enough of the damn things out there. It doesn't matter whose it is, but they want enough of them out there to make Android gaming more viable than it currently is. Like, they want serious games to be made for the Android platform. I mean, one, do you think that's what they're trying to do? And secondly, will that even fucking work in the first place?
I think they may be going for it, especially Amazon, because doesn't, like, Kim Swift make Creative Portal now work for Amazon? Isn't that where she now works? So it's like one of the Amazon developments.
Well, yeah, and I mean, didn't they also just bought Double Helix?
They did,
yeah.
And they have a couple of other game studios. Like, Amazon's making a push into gaming.
Yeah, I think that they're genuinely going for it. Yeah. I don't know if it's a this is going to work sort of thing, or we're going to throw this at the wall and see if it sticks sort of thing.
That's what it is.
Yeah. You never can quite tell, can you? Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
The insane thing that I think is it's really, really interesting to me, and I don't know why. Maybe you have an answer, but the premise behind all of this is we're gonna let you use the power of, you know, a lot of these things that let you put it on the TV, the power of your computer. We're gonna create like a little computer thing that you can play the games on your TV.
Whoa.
Instead of a monitor.
Whoa.
And I guess the assumption there is that you'll use a controller to play it, but like, what the hell? This, right? Like, isn't that the whole point? I just don't understand. I don't, like, screw your mouse and keyboard, the things that make 90% of games infinitely easier. Here, use this controller we're gonna make you buy to play it on our effing TV thingy because we told you to. Give us your money.
Well,
like,
the Razer thing does have keyboard and mouse
sense.
support by the looks of it. The thing is, like, any Android thing would, but you've got to code it into the game in the first place. And not enough people generally use mouse and keyboard with an Android device to make it worthwhile.
It doesn't make any sense. It's insane. It's insane.
Well, we had a nasty thing that came out a couple of days ago from the developers of Monument Valley that basically said, yeah, so 5% of our total installs on Android were actually paid for, and 40% of our total installs on iOS were paid for. And of course, people's like, holy shit, Android piracy is actually a really big problem. And some people misinterpreted the numbers a bit, because apparently, like, yeah, there were a few people that got them from giveaways that, you know, were legit. And they said, oh, these numbers don't factor in the Amazon free day thing. But it seems to me like Amazon's piracy rate is so bad that even if you develop things like these consoles, is it even going to matter? Because apparently everyone's just nicking the games anyway. I mean, 95%. And it's a $3 video game. People are willing to steal a $3 video game. I can at least somewhat understand if you nick a $60 one, but it's $3.
Yeah.
I think it's been proven time and time again, if there's something's good, people are more willing to pay for it. And I think the assumption
Monument
is
Valley
that
is very, very good.
Look, all I'm saying is I think the assumption is that most of the games that come out on Android are not. And so people are not willing to take the chance. Even if it turns out it is very good, people are like, F it. I'll just get it somewhere because it's easy. They can do it. And two, they don't have faith in the product. I don't. That's why I don't own any Android devices. Every Android thing I've used has driven me insane. I'm like, I don't like any of this.
Oh, man,
so,
I use an Android phone. I've got the Shield stuff, which is pretty good. But it's...
Man, I didn't like my Android phone at all.
Either did I. I thought it was...
Swapped it out again.
Until I updated the other day and changed everything, and I hate it. But it was fine until that moment. Like, there's a software update. Why not? Everything's moved. You can't mute it anymore. And there's no silence mode. You have to change it to the special mode priority and tweak things.
What?
And you could just about get a silence mode. But there isn't a button to just go, silent now. Because people who design these things don't use them or something. But I think it's different audiences. Like, they always say the console audiences pirate, PC audiences pirate loads, and then console pirate less and stuff because it's more difficult. But mobile phone people have now come in and pirated the most, but they're entirely different audiences. Like, I have no idea why anybody would play most of the things on mobile phones.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, I spent $500 on Candy Crush, and they're going, why? Do you not know what's happening? I just kind of want to get a copy of Deus Ex and go, just take this, and then come back crying in a few days later, like, oh my god, it was amazing.
I didn't realize I was completely wrong.
Yeah, so it's sort of, but so if it's different things, like a lot of people just, because so many mobile games are now free to play or free, if they see something costs money, like, oh, just download that. Then it's not like, don't do anything.
Pay for it. Yeah. I mean, wasn't it the Space Team dev that's like, yeah, I made my game free and I put like some optional stuff in there to try and make some money, and he had millions of downloads and made almost no money whatsoever on that game.
Yeah. Remember that even if you buy a game, that's not a guarantee that's not going to have money microtransactions. Roller Coaster Tycoon, the mobile one, when it first came out, cost money.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of dollars to get that. And then inside, there were the $100 and whatever microtransactions just waiting for you. And paths that were just scenery decorations.
Could definitely be a trust issue. I mean, the massive difference between iOS and Android in terms of the paid install rate, and we won't call it piracy rate because that's technically not accurate, but I think the difference there is that it's a lot harder to root an iOS device. It's a pain in the ass. And I even go as far as to say it's actually easier to buy stuff on iOS. Like the store experience for iOS is not bad. Getting a game is quick, it's easy, there's no problems. I know it'll work, which actually some of the stuff on Android won't, because there's a lot of different configurations. So as much as I don't like how locked down iOS is, simultaneously it's apparently a better deal for devs, because Monument Valley makes money on iOS and doesn't make money on Android necessarily. And there was an interesting article that came out because they wanted to answer some questions, and a lot of the people in the chat are asking the same things. Like, firstly, how was the 95% statistic actually determined? Well, he said, 5% are paid downloads, so the ratio is 9.5 to 1. But a portion of those people who have both a phone and a tablet, people who have more than one Android device with them. So a small portion of that 95% is going to be taken up by those installs. And, they track the data. It's simple. The game phones home and says, it's like, this is an install. Simple as that. Yeah. It's most mobile games do that. They don't tell you, but they don't have to because the EULA says they can. So that's a factor. But he what did he say? He was on about the Android market versus the iOS version, and trying to figure out exactly why it is that people are less inclined to spend $4 on a game on Android than they are on iOS, which is intriguing.
Yeah, it's a weird world, and it's a world I don't particularly delve into often.
No,
it's a scary world of many clones and things.
Well, I mean, this is why you've got a lot of free-to-play games, because you can't pirate a free-to-play game. So, and you've got all these always online experiences.
You can. I just released a game, made a game, released it. I've got on my site. It's completely free. I don't even have adverts or anything on it. It's a PC game.
And
completely free. It's on Pirate Bay. I have a torrent for it on the site. I've got a legal my torrent that I put up just to make it easier on my servers. I'm like, there's a torrent. It's being seen. It's really doing well. And people still stick on things like Pirate Bay. I'm like, why? There's a version here that's
well, at that point's just free advertising. I mean, you can't complain about that.
I know, but it's just one of those things like, I don't get the thing of like, oh, I'm going to pirate this. It's free. Well, I'm going to pirate it anyway. Like, why? Why are you doing this? I'm sorry. People confuse me. Yeah. It's because, like, especially about, I want it in torrent form. Well, click that link there where it is a torrent that is I'm running. And
for some people, it's just a habit. It's just like I torrent everything. I don't take that out of context. I don't torrent anything. I legally torrent OC Remix stuff and things like that. But no, I mean, I buy all my games. But for a lot of people, it's just like, no, I just like the default position is I just torrent everything.
Yeah, it's the same with like some shows. There are plenty of shows that have like a legal free way to watch it. And then there's also, you could pirate it, and either way, it's free. But in one scenario, they're actually going to see your number as being somebody interested in the show, and it might affect whether or not the show comes back. Like, I try to think about stuff like that, but...
You do have to be a bit careful.
Then they make you watch commercials.
I will happily pay for not having to watch commercials. It's why I don't like cable TV, because they want me to pay, and they want to show me commercials. Like, this is why I'm not subscribed to Hulu, because that's fucking dumb. Like, no. Originally, cable was supposed to be, it'll be commercial free, and then they realized, well, actually, we could put ads on as well. It's not like people have a choice. If they want to watch it, they got to fucking watch it. Well, now they do have a choice, and that's why people are like, we might need to change our business model. But we're going to go down fighting. We're going to make sure that we lash out as many people as possible before that can actually happen. But it's sad. It's just a sad situation. I get constantly frustrated by the mobile market because good games, more often than not, don't really get the attention they deserve, and bad games make millions of dollars.
Yeah,
and that's
billions even nowadays.
Yes,
they just explode onto the scene. Hey, here's a thing. No, it's just complete luck now. It's just luck.
Or pay PewDiePie and Markiplier to advertise your game.
So is that?
Or try them off of me, and I'll just
Best
ignore
fiends.
your email. No, I mean, there was what was the? My brain's given up. Leave me be. I do this sometimes. I'm like, I'm going to start a sentence, and then my brain goes, "Oh, think about chips. Oh, what about chips? Ah," and I've
I'm
forgotten
some chips right now. That'd be nice.
Yeah, you see, I've done it to you. It's contagious. I'm gone.
Well, show's derailed. It's ruined. We can all go home.
Oh, okay.
Thank God.
I am home.
Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Bye,
the
everyone.
podcast.
Where are you people?
We're gone.
I really can't remember what I was going to say.
Yes, we're bated breath.
Genuinely,
Go on.
We're just going to say putting you on the spot. That's how it's going to be.
I know. My brain's just gone. Oh, they're looking at you now. People are judging.
Judging.
Yeah. Lovely.
Well,
This
never mind.
is easy animating it.
Yeah. Pretty much.
It's gone.
Never mind. Yeah, I don't know. It's just sad. And I'm always bothered when I see the excuses for it. It's like, look, if you're going to pirate $4 games, like, don't make an excuse. You're kind of a dick. Just to admit it. I have respect for people that's like, yeah, I pirate games because I don't want to pay for them. I know I'm a dickhead for doing it, but I do it anyway. I'm like, okay, I can at least respect your honesty there. It's the people like,
Right.
no, let me tell you about corporate culture. And the way it's like, no. Go away. You want to protest corporate culture, go make a sign and go to a fucking protest. Pirating video games is not protesting anything. You idiots.
Yep.
Truth.
True.
Yeah. Anything else in the news? There really isn't.
There's a third Five Nights at Freddy's coming out, which surprised me. 'Cause I didn't know there was a second.
They are pumping that shit out. They are. I mean, I'm going to blame them because it literally prints money.
I was gonna say it's just barfing money at them. So.
But if you think about it, technically this guy is like one of the only indie devs doing episodic content. Because as much as they're sequels, they're pretty much just episodic stuff.
Essentially,
Yeah.
And he's doing a great job of just episodic content. Because each one is like, apparently each one is, because I've not played them, but each one is sort of like they're telling a little bit more of the story and the lore each time and stuff, adding a few more mechanics. I'm like, yeah, you're doing episodic games. Just call them episode 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah.
Or you have a number in your name. Just make that number lower or higher. 6 Nights at Freddy's. I much prefer that. Instead of 5 Nights at Freddy's 2, 5 Nights at Freddy's 3.
Yeah.
It's
7 Nights at Freddy's, 8 Nights at Freddy's.
It's the rule that horror is just easy to make. That's why there's 8 Saw movies, a billion of these other ones. They just pump them out as quick as possible.
But good ones aren't easy to make, though. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, you ride the gravy train on that one until people stop making million-view videos screeching at your game, and then you move on to something else.
YouTubers are a disease.
And we
Mr.
are the
Anderson.
cure. No, we're part of the disease. God damn it.
Oh, man. We're just syringes in a big old pile.
Indeed, with a bunch of...
Why do we keep
shots.
talking about needles? Could we, fucking stop shit?
Are you triggered, Dodger? I'm sorry.
Dodger's triggered about needles. She's not a fan of needles.
Every hour
She
we
just-
talk
And
about
ham
If we
sandwiches.
could just
putting our
ship the
hands in
needles,
needles
if we could just ship
raining
the
down
needles
on
with the gay
Jesse's house.
hurricanes away,
Needles
we'd be fine.
everywhere. I don't understand.
Trigger warning, mayonnaise. Right.
Trigger warning.
Needle Nado. That would be a film I wouldn't watch.
Needle.
Oh god.
400-mile-an-hour hurricane filled with needles. Holy
They just
shit.
rip through you like it's not even.
I don't even mind. I'm not weird about needles
No,
going.
pause right there. Already start off completely wrong. I'm not weird about
I like how you guys
Reverse
are
that.
complaining about needles. I literally have in my shoulder a fucking implanted port designed to poke needles into my body and be connected for 2+ days at a time. You don't even know. You have no idea.
But I'm
Wow,
saying
check your
is,
I've become very
Check your
used to needles.
privilege. Check your privilege.
Check you're not
Dodger.
being stabbed
Jesus.
repeatedly privilege.
Check
all
your
I'm
privilege.
saying
Jesus.
is I don't
Wow.
mind needles myself, but
Wow.
you know what? Fucking forget it.
Wow.
I literally can't say a sentence on this goddamn podcast.
It's just one of those days.
Next topic.
Nothing's happened in the news. Oh, man.
Ubisoft is trying to poll to figure out future Far Cry settings. I'm not sure it even fucking matters. It's like, to me, this is like almost
Atlantis.
It's almost a literal admission that we're going to make the same game, we're just going to change where it is.
Yeah, I haven't touched Far Cry 4 for that fact that it's just so similar to Far Cry 3. Like, I don't want to, because Far Cry 3 is still kind of fresh. I'm like, I'll do that later. Because Far Cry 1, 2, and 3, I have nothing in common. And then 4 is just like, sort of a reskin of 3. And I'm like, I'll get around to it at some point. Maybe.
It's when you're really hankering
huge pools
for
of
it.
Sharks.
Except the sharks don't come from below, they come from the sky, and they're called eagles.
God. There's just the most horrible things. They do. You're just wandering around like, okay, I can snipe this guy, do that guy. Why don't I have eyes anymore? And there's just an eagle flying off with your eyes. That's Far Cry 4 experience.
They should have made a full Blood Dragon game. If they're going to make anything, they should have gone back and been like, we're making
I don't like the idea of a full Blood Dragon game. I think that would outstay its welcome. Like, I think Blood Dragon, the size was just right. It was a nice bite-sized chunk of that. It did not need to draw the joke out for any longer than that.
I would have drawn it and quartered it. Of course you would have. I want that joke. That made that
37
game. 37
episodes of Hinterland's Herb Gathering later on my YouTube channel.
Yes. First off, I just ran a dungeon.
Were there herbs in it? Did you gather them?
Yes.
Bet there were a bunch of deep mushrooms in there. Bet you gathered those.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I like that game.
Me too, Jesse.
Thank you.
I've not played it. I abstain.
Wait, no, I can't like the game because Dodger's unchecked privilege will cause drama.
Rampaging over this show. There's privileges everywhere.
Jesus, Dodger.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, bless you.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much else on the news front, honestly, from what I could tell. I mean, it's January. Did anyone really expect that? Oh, yeah, the DLC for Assassin's Creed Unity is coming out soon. You know, they haven't fixed the game yet, but god damn it. Thing is, the DLC's free, isn't it? Like, they've made the DLC free, and it's cost them untold amounts of money. Like, if you're going to give them credit for one thing, you've got to give them credit for that. Releasing a significant piece of DLC for free is kind of ridiculous.
That's actually...
You have to give them credit for when Unity first came out. When it came out and it was all the bugs, and they were like, oh, we'll fix it for the next game, was sort of their first announcement. That's what you should give them credit for, because that is an amazing thing to say. It's like, then they go, oh, we'll fix it. And they went, the next one's going to be amazing. I like that.
Yeah, and who was idiotic enough to buy it? Oh, millions of people. But, let's assume for a second that people weren't idiots. Who would buy it in that scenario? Like, your last game was terrible. I'm not going to buy your latest yearly iteration, especially if it's not by a new studio. We looked at the games that studio had released, and we found that Stop Smoking game for the DS, for God's sake. Like, it's like, this is not something that is filling me with confidence here.
They're amazing. They're the right people you want. They're the people who can fix addictions. They can get everyone off Assassin's Creed. They're the people who want to be making the next Assassin's Creed. Yeah. There'd just be subliminal messages in it. It'd be like, don't buy any more Assassin's Creed. That would be... They're the right people. They're the people we need right now, not the people we deserve.
No, definitely not the people we deserve.
The fact that some people are excited for the next Assassin's Creed game angers me. Deeply angers me.
Look, I could get it after Assassin's Creed 4. I really could. But, oh my god, the people that fucking justify this stuff. I've gone into YouTube comments. I'm sorry. I went to the trailer for the DLC. No. Ungrateful, picky customers in the comments below. Don't read them. You try and put yourself in Ubisoft's shoes while making this game for over a year, and other games in the process like Far Cry 4. Well, one, you have no idea what you're talking about, because it was hardly the same people making these. And it's like, it's hard fucking work, and they're people just like us that make mistakes. I get that, but they're not angry at the people. They're not angry at a specific person within Ubisoft. They're angry at this giant monolithic mega corporation that released a shitty video game.
Did someone just try to white knight Ubisoft?
Yeah!
Is that what just happened there?
I've said it before.
Shoes.
Like,
those
for the last few years,
people
have been like obnoxiously anti-consumer, and the people that have been anti-consumer are fucking consumers, and that's what bothers me the most. Like, they are dicking you over. And like, even if they didn't specifically dick you over, at least have empathy for someone that they did dick over. You probably do know somebody. It's just like, come on. It's stop defending them. Like, this is why they get away with this shit, because you keep pre-ordering their goddamn games. Stop it.
The irony that they pulled down Far Cry 4's downloadable version because it was broken, and then they're like, hey, we need to know what you want the next one to be. You can't even play the current one. Like, it's madness. It's madness. But the next one, when you're a vampire cocaine snorter, my God, that'll be the one.
Oh, Bloodborne? Is that what you're talking about?
Probably. That sounds about right.
Far Cry Bloodborne?
Far Cry Bloodborne?
Nice.
Featuring brand new radio towers.
Oh,
Yep.
That's what you want Far Cry set, in a place where radio towers are illegal. And they just aren't any. That's where you want to set the next Far Cry.
Then they switch to semaphore. It's just a giant semaphore tower. You're gonna get up there and wave some flags around. It's got Kinect support. Hey, there you go.
Oh God. Don't.
I just made the worst video game.
Actually, that's about it.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a very strange phenomenon. Like, but I don't know if it's just people being contrarian. I understand. Like, obviously, like going after a specific person working at a company because a game was bad. Okay, that's going a bit far. Like the shit where someone threatened that Call of Duty developer because they rebalanced a weapon. Like, that's going too fucking far, obviously. But saying, Ubisoft, you were real shitters in 2014, you should probably do better because I just bought a couple of games from you that fucking sucked and they were quite expensive. That is not an unfair criticism. Like, can we please distinguish between criticizing giant megacorporation and personally harassing one person? Because they're not the same thing.
Why do people defend giant companies? Like, when Steam releases another pile of shit early access thing that doesn't work, is completely broken, is just stealing money and they're siphoning off their 30%. Why do people go, oh, Steam's fine, they're doing lovely stuff? I'm like, no, they're just...
What are they doing that's lovely?
Thing.
What are they doing?
This
Like,
just...
sometimes they sell cheap games. What else have they done that's lovely lately?
Yeah,
not a fucking thing.
Not done a thing.
Gabe
Nothing.
is the character in Dota you can use shopkeep, man.
Yeah, I'll get. You know, I like I find the whole like deification of Gabe N to be funny, and I engage in the PC Master Race stuff because I think it's funny. But you use that ironically. Like, we don't genuinely believe that Valve is the best company ever, and frankly, like,
well, some people do.
Yeah, because they're idiots.
Some people do.
They've obviously never used customer service on Steam. Then they'll rapidly realize how untrue that is.
Yeah.
Origin kicks the shit out of them customer service-wise. Everybody does. Every company kicks the shit out of them customer service-wise. They must have literally 2 people working for their customer service department. It's ridiculous.
They probably do because Valve is the whole open. We're open and we do things like everybody just picks what they want to do. Do you reckon?
Yeah, and none of them want to do customer service.
Just have to do customer service. I'm gonna go work for Valve and just be their customer service. That's my goal in life now. And I'll be like, have all your games back. I don't give a shit. If it has early access and survival in it, I will give you your money back. I don't care what's wrong with it. That's the biggest turn off when someone's like, oh, we've made a game. What is it? It's an early access survival.
Yeah.
We've done that. Please, anything new.
They are the worst when it comes to completely ignoring. It's like, I've said, look, I don't play early access games on the channel. I just don't do it. There's so many good games that could be played that are finished. I'm going to play them. Yep. And the most games that I still get review code for, it's like, hey, could you play the alpha of our brand new survival? No! No! Stop it.
Especially when it's like they're like, oh, we're making our first game. We're going to make a game that's bigger than DayZ. I'm like,
giant open world multiplayer sandbox survival. No. Yeah, it's going to be fucking terrible.
Small first.
Spoiler alert, it's going to suck.
Small as humanly possible. Your first game should just be sort of a like basic reaction test. That's all you want. You want something like that. You want click the thing. You win. Well done. That's your first game.
That's
okay?
basically the system's normal in a nutshell, right?
Great.
Press the button.
Generally is, yeah. That's because that's what I want. I want a game that is just clicking a thing when it lights up, and I'm going to try and make that a thing. And yeah, that's how you should do it. I think some early access games are worth playing. Some of them, like there are a few people that update genuinely enough to make them worth paying now. Because I'm launching a Humble store. I don't think I've announced that before, but I'm launching a Humble store like in the next. Nice. Yeah, in the next like this month, and it's going to be it's 75% to devs, so it's better for Steam than Steam. So if you buy it there, it's better. It's 10% Humble and it's 15% charities. I'm not even taking a cut. Woo! So it's going to be, but I've got rules for it. So there's no pre-orders on the store. You can't pre-order anything on the store. I'm not letting it. It's only games that I've played and can go, this is good. And the only early access games are the ones that are worth the money now. I just want people to think that rule. Like, because some people go, oh, we bought this game and then the developers never updated it, and now we're angry. No, you gave them money for a thing in its current form. That's early access. That's when it's done, and you should wait until it's like worth going for.
Well, I've said it before. Like the biggest problem with early access is that you generally don't know the state it's in. Like it's very hard to find that information because people don't cover early access that much, and even if they did, it's hard to do because you make a video about it, and the next day, there's like, let's try it again. The next day, they have said, so we'll completely change the engine and reworked every mechanic in the game. Like, so my video's useless now. Great, that's awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's why I say it's worth it now. You're done. So, because I play a fair few early access games because they come in, but I only do videos of the ones that are worth it now. It's important to.
Kerbal Space Program.
Kerbal Space Program. Space Engineers gets like an update every like month a week. They've got like program.
Prison Architect. That's great.
Prison Architect. I can love Prison Architect.
What else?
What else? There's there was one I played very recently. Oh, The Escapists, which is that prison escape game.
The Escapists,
which is very nice.
Oh, that game is really fun.
The Long
That's
Dark
a great
is
game.
Decent.
Never played that.
Okay.
Decent.
It's a survival game. It's a survival game, but you get eaten by wolves, so it's different.
So it's different from all the other survival games.
Which have zombies in them. Yes.
Zombies in the wolves that eat you?
Yeah,
Holy
pilot them.
shit.
It's like
Nuclear
that bit in
threat.
Ace Ventura where he's just in like a robot wolf.
Yeah.
Once you get eaten, that's when the real game begins.
Yeah.
I suppose you could call
You're
Don't
gonna
Starve
do it.
Together technically early access, which I suppose it is. But
Yeah, some stuff is made out of early access and some stuff really hasn't. Bless him.
it's just a crappy business model. Distance, though. I've been playing a bit of that. Yeah, that's a good one. That's
Ooh,
good.
played that.
Oh, Distance? Oh, I mean, it's a sequel to Nitronic Rush, and it's fucking
Oh, I
good.
did like Nitronic Rush.
Fucking good. Even in its current state, it is really fucking good. So,
And they're the ones we should be talking about. And the rest can be like, well, some people can experiment with those.
yep.
But stop making fucking survival games in early access, please. Stop going. It's our first game. We made a map the size of Germany. I don't care. Nobody cares. Nobody
far as
wants
I'm
to go to
concerned-
Germany regularly. It's just
Now that Don't Starve is out, they should just ban survival games. It's like, it's there. There you go. We got Don't
Yeah.
Starve. That's a good survival game. Done. You don't need any more. That's it. We're done. The genre is closed. No one else is
The
allowed in.
genre is
How
closed.
good would that be if you could just close the genre after a while?
What
It's
genre
like-
would you close? Like, let's go around the room. We'll start with Dodger. What genre would you close if you had the option? That you could close that genre, there'd never be another game made in it.
Wartime FPS.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
Wow.
All right.
I don't like watching it. I don't like playing it. And
You're gonna
people
get
keep
some angry
making them.
cards,
What-
man.
When you're just saying any, like, what do you mean by wartime specifically?
Like, you're a soldier shooting people.
So, military shooters.
Military shooters.
But what
sure.
about you're a mercenary shooting people? Is that okay?
Yeah,
what
that's
what
fine.
kind of shooting are you allowed? Like, is it
what
specifically
do you
you are
allow?
part of a military outfit?
Yeah, I don't. I'm sick of games where it's like you
Oscar
are.
Mike, Tango Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, I can get behind you on that one because fuck modern military shooters. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm over it. I'm totally cool with it being like you're a mercenary who only responds to cash. Like that's fine. I don't care. But
fair.
like, yeah.
Jesse, which genre would you close?
Can I just say zombies? Can we end that?
Yeah,
Zombies
zombies
isn't a
is a good
genre.
one.
Can we remove zombies from the lexicon of pop culture and just never talk about them again? Because
I wouldn't say no. Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done with zombies. Other than that, probably puzzle platformers. Get rid of them.
Oh yeah.
Get
No.
rid of them.
No.
Get rid of them.
No.
Puzzle platformers.
It's okay,
out.
Dodger. There's a back catalog of about 2,000 of them that you could play. It'll be all right.
Valiant
fine.
Hearts was a puzzle platformer, and you loved that game.
One
Arguably.
off. Yeah, it does not equal. I love the genre. I like the story.
But
and I like the environment.
if you close the genre, then games like the one out of a few would never exist.
You know what? Then I would never know. So it wouldn't be a problem.
He has a point.
I would never know it didn't exist because it wouldn't be an issue for me. I'm fine. Puzzle platformer's gone.
No,
Aww.
my heart.
You're a monster.
Sorry.
You're a
Dan.
Sorry.
monster.
Which genre would you close?
Wait.
You trying to work out what your heart is.
This one.
You work it out from the Jurassic Park game. I would probably just go for the early access survival. Although I'd love to take out the space genre just so the Star Citizen people go, fuck.
You just did that to piss off the Star Citizen people.
Just the subreddit would just go, oh.
There are some
There's
people that have
nothing
spent a
left for
great
us.
deal of money on a game that isn't even a game yet. I'll give them that.
That's a weird
It's a
game.
weird thing.
It's a
Yeah.
weird little thing. No, it's early access survival. Survival. No, survival. I'm done surviving. I've done it. I can chop. If I want to put a game up and the first thing it does is it gives you an axe and goes, chop down a tree, I go, no.
Why do we have to merely survive? Why can't we thrive?
Yeah.
Why can't we have a thrival genre?
Like
thrival.
Thrival genre.
Something like Factorio. Have you played Factorio?
No, but I mean to, because it looks great.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing because it is sort of. It starts with you just mining something like, oh my god, and then 5 minutes later you have a factory that does it all for you.
Yeah.
And it's just you're building your factory, and it's just the biggest, insanest thing, and you start polluting your thing, and you're like, I'm not the good guy here, but I want to build trains. So screw the native population here. And it plays like an old 2000 sort of real-time strategy. Oh, it's amazing. That's that. We'll have that come out fully, and then we'll close off survival. It's already survival. You don't have to survive. You have the guns that do it for you.
Fair enough.
So thrival maybe, but survival no.
So thrival.
What about open world games too? Get rid of them.
No.
Open world games.
I think there's a potential for them not to suck, but over the last couple of years they've been really annoying.
They've had their chance. Take them out back, shoot them in the head.
You take open world games down. I'm taking down MMOs. All right, they're going. I'm taking them down.
All right, fine.
I'll take
JRPGs.
Great. They haven't been good in 20 years, so that's fine. Also, while we're at it, we can take racing games and music games and
so you know what
games.
I said? Give one genre.
How about MOBAs? Let's take out some MOBAs.
Yeah,
I don't think we'd be missing much losing that.
John, cut them out.
We already have a bunch of good MOBA games. We really
Let's
don't.
just shut down the gaming industry.
I'm taking it back to zero. I'm going. Let's kill all games. All gaming. You know what gaming we should play?
Games.
We should play outside with friends. That's the game we're gonna play. It's brand new. You'll love it.
Is that on iOS? So
is there a single-player version?
No.
There
I wonder what would happen though, for real. I wonder what would happen if no one made any games for 3 years, and then came back and suddenly people were making games. Yeah.
That would be the freakiest thing in the world. It's like no one develops any games and no one planned it, and they're just looking around going, "Oh, why aren't we making any games? Oh man,
why is no one making any games?"
That would be
and then
great.
suddenly somebody makes a
back
game,
and
right?
rediscovers classics and stuff from their back catalog that was really awesome. That
builds
could be
on
great.
classics. I'd love that.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
Shut down the games industry for 2 years. Yeah. So the genre I'd get rid of is ultra hard YouTube bait. That needs to fucking die. I'm sorry, I Am Bread and fucking Geometry Dash.
No, not I Am Bread. I Am Bread is a genuine game. I will defend
I don't care if
I
it's a
Am
genuine
Bread.
game.
You can take away Goat Simulator and all that crap, but I Am Bread is actually a game I play by myself and enjoy it. It's
it's dead. It's going.
Is.
Sorry.
I used to think I could trust your word on things. I don't. I don't believe it anymore. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. You've lost your mind.
It's a really interesting game. I like the difficult controls. It's basically just a giant game of the floor is lava. That's all it is, and it's great for that because we don't have another the floor is lava game. I want another floor is lava game. The floor is lava genre. That's what we should do.
All I'm saying is Quap has a lot to answer for at this point.
Yes, it does.
Oh god. All right, let's wrap the show with releases, shall we? Since we are rapidly approaching the end of this particular podcast. So, Dodger, what can we look forward to in the next couple of weeks? I imagine not a great deal.
Doesn't look like a lot. I'm being honest with you. Today we have Whoa Dave for PlayStation Network Vita.
Ah, finally, the Vita has got the. What is Whoa Dave? Let's find out. Whoa Dave! It's actually on Steam, surprisingly
I hope
enough.
it's JRPG.
Oh, this is already out.
That's all that's ever on Vita.
It appears to be some sort of retro platformer.
That's what we should kill.
Retro platformers. Yeah.
That's the one.
From the folks
Retro
behind
platformer.
Bit Trip comes Whoa Dave. Help our hero Dave Lownuts survive an insane alien invasion, line his pockets with shiny pennies, hurl alien eggs, skull bombs, and explosive woe blocks to stay alive and skyrocket yourself to high score fame.
Oh,
Whoa,
but
Dave.
he does go, whoa, in the game. All right, I gotta love it. Screw it. I don't care anymore. I want it.
Well, that is not a reason for me to turn my Vita back on again. Next.
It is for me. Look, he goes, whoa.
Whoa.
I'm in.
Duke Nukem 3D Megaton Edition for PlayStation 3 Network and PlayStation Network Vita.
Now, I'm going to turn my Vita back on again and play Duke Nukem, and then realize that's a fucking stupid idea because the controls suck. Next.
Tomorrow we have Warhammer Quest for PC.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's a good game.
And
play that on iOS.
Castle for PC.
I have code for that. It involves building a castle of some sort, but I'm not 100% sure yet.
Sounds
There
pretty
you go.
straightforward. January 8th, we have Boyd for PC. I don't know what that is.
Fun word to say. That's all that is.
It is.
Is.
Boyd.
I thought it was it's a platformer, right? No, it's not in any way is that right. It is a class-based multiplayer real-time strategy. Okay, I'm thinking of something completely different. It almost looks a bit like Galcon in ways. It's like giant hordes of things. Huh. Okay, I might have a look at that.
On the 9th, we have Funk of Titans.
I'm
for
sorry,
Xbox
what?
One.
Funk of Titans.
Yes. It's when you leave your computer on too long and the graphics cards start to smell. Funk of Titans.
Well done. Well done. Okay, so
bye, everybody!
I'm trying to figure out what the fuck. Perseus, the chosen one, and he knows funk fu. Funk music is the music of the gods. Zeus, the father of all of them, created and shared it with the rest of the universe after making the first humans. The humans have been dancing and singing funky songs since then to give thanks to Zeus for receiving this blessing. Right. Is it a platformer? It's a platformer, isn't it?
It looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Okay, it's a platformer.
Moving on.
Swiftly.
Right, but you can ride your pimped out Pegasus, apparently.
Oh, phew. I think
And that looks like Flappy Bird. Oh my god.
Oh,
okay, next.
Yeah. Okay, 4089 Ghost Within for PC.
Which I assume is a sequel to that, like 3079 or whatever? Which
Oh
was
my
that kind
God,
of
lol.
weird Minecraft-esque thing? Or am I completely mistaken?
It's a platformer.
It's not a platformer.
What the hell is
It seems
this?
to have blocks, though, of some sort.
It does.
I actually don't know what the fuck this is now.
It's a weird
it's a stealth
first-person
action
space
RPG.
game.
It's like, it's a what?
With Elite Beat Agents elements.
Of
I may be
course it
making
is.
this up.
Well, it supports Oculus Rift, so that's important.
Definitely leave the agent.
This picture came up for me, and I feel like this cat child has too much booty.
Oh, yeah, no, I see that picture too, but I think it's the artist who helped make the game because there's a lot of weird art about, like, a lot of furry art comes up when you search this game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
it is the guys that made 3059, 3069, 3079, 3089, which are all kind of Minecraft-esque far future RPG things.
Sounds like
Yeah.
That's a confusing one. Okay. Next.
Bring us something.
Mechs and Mercs Black Talons for PC.
This looks interesting. I hope it doesn't suck, but it looks cool. I like both mechs and mercs, and I'm
I
not
am into
averse
both
to
of
Black
these
Talons.
It looks okay.
It is. Is it a RTS? What is it? It has persistent and fully customizable squads and weapons. It looks like kind of it looks like a tactics game of mechs and mercs. One assumes. It looks like kind of a tactics game of some sort. Okay.
I bet you
I'll
played
look
the
at that.
Black Talons.
You might. It's yes. Okay.
Next up is a game called Supreme for PC.
Now this game is about pizza, and I'm not kidding.
Shut
No,
up.
I'm not kidding. Not kidding.
Supreme PC game. I'm looking this up.
Yes. So I looked at this game and I actually sent it to Jim Sterling because I thought this game could either be great or absolutely awful, and that could be ideal for your. I'm sorry. I'm just being. Steam, what the fuck? Steam, what the fuck? Steam just released Spartans vs. Zombie Defense. The fucking icon for the game is a blatant ripoff of King Leonidas from 300.
But who's going to stop the zombies? But
Good.
the Spartans.
Jesus Christ.
Why?
Why?
That's great.
The NerdCubed Hubble Store launching soon. None of this shit.
Fucking Steam.
Oh,
But yeah, Supreme's about pizza.
okay.
Perfect.
That I can
Like,
tell
I
you.
googled it.
bake the pizza?
It looks like
You do, I believe, but you also might deliver it too. Things you may also face in your journey include, but are not limited to, corrupt governments, angry employees, theft, mobsters, car flipping goodness. Yeah, this is going to be terrible, isn't it?
It's gonna be really good. Best
yeah.
ever.
This is probably. Oh, what is this? This might be a special form of junk, cause holy shit!
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, next before I lose my mind.
Next, Sword of Asumi for PC.
Sword of Asumi. Okay.
I hope it's anime bullshit.
I'm going to make a sort of assumption that says it's anime bullshit. And it is! Anime bullshit. There are schoolgirls and large breasts.
What? Hold on. What's this
the
for?
fourth thing appears to be a picture of an anime girl in underwear. Yep, okay, this is exactly what I expected. There you go, there's the next game for your channel, Dodger.
Thank you.
There's a cat girl and she's in a maid costume. Oh my god.
Yep,
Hello.
everyone has very large breasts. Yep, okay.
Wood butter.
Anime
All right,
bullshit.
if you go to the Steam page, it has my trope. The three women breast sizes. Love it.
I don't think
Anime.
Oh, actually, well, no, that's a man. Never mind. He's got a good set on him.
Anime women have in games like this. There are you have little tiny boobies, and you got the medium boobies and the big boobies. That's how you make an anime game. If I was gonna make an anime game, those would be your three choices, and people would be like, "My God, the writing in this game is fabulous."
Literally, almost every screenshot is like, "Can we put these anime girls in some sort of revealing costume?" The answer is apparently yes, for the most part. I guess they know what sells.
Boobs sell.
Apparently they do. Next,
Countless Rooms of Death for PC.
oh, that sounds like fun. Yeah, I'm sure that is not going to be a fucking super hard YouTube bullshit game. Yeah, this was on Steam Greenlight. Of course it was. It's a casual horror game. How does one make that?
Casual horror game?
A casual.
It's like when you walk past a ghost house, like one of the ones at Fairground, a ghost comes out and goes, boo! And you're like, no, I'm not interested. That's a casual ghost.
It is a puzzle adventure game with a horror atmosphere. There are no weapons or real enemies. Instead, we aim to bully your mind.
What?
Your biggest enemy,
Whoa.
your own mind. I have a feeling the
Wait,
biggest
what?
enemy is going to be this terrible video game, but, you know, this does not look in any way good.
But if you buy it, your mind did that, so the biggest enemy is your own mind.
Why is the Countless Rooms of Death logo just like a naked glowing chick?
Because they know what sells.
Don't.
I looked at the logo,
horrified.
and it appears to be a desk. Like, I'm not horrified too much by this. It's like Countless Rooms of Desk, more like it.
That sounds terrifying.
It's like a screenshot which looks like a bunch of crates from Borderlands. What the fuck is... I hate PC gaming.
Why would it tell you? Why would it tell you that there are no enemies?
That
Like,
doesn't ruin the fucking point.
Wouldn't the point be, to convince you that there are enemies?
It's like,
or
there
like,
aren't any. Well, fuck that then. Okay.
That's why Gone Home
cool.
messed me up massively.
Because there were no enemies in Gone Home?
Well, no, because you're playing through it and I had no idea if there was going to be anything, so you're on edge the whole time, and that's how horror works. We're going, there's nothing, you'll be fine. That's why it's casual horror. Yeah.
Your
There it
biggest
is.
enemy, your mind, and the phone.
and your phone.
That's the developer of Countless Rooms of Death.
Sorry,
Yeah, I'm
Countless
calling to be
Rooms.
like, could you talk about this game like it's fucking rad? Cool, thank you.
I'm sorry,
No
no
problem.
Countless Rooms of Desk for you. That's not going to happen.
Yeah,
And
sorry.
Rooms
that's
of
pretty
Desk.
much it for releases. Yep.
No, there's one more.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Alphadia Genesis on January 12th for PC.
Let me guess.
I hope this is another anime bullshit.
I bet that's
Calling
a
it
JRPG. I
Alphadia.
bet it's a JRPG.
Oh shit! It looks like it. Oh,
God.
no, it's kind of like it. Yeah, it's okay. It's definitely an JRPG.
Yeah.
Yep, that is a JRPG, and there are anime girls in it. And it does...
Did it.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Together, TB, you and I, we did it. We knew.
I wish we hadn't. Oh, dear. All right.
Whatever you guess, the game's become. Guess better
Well,
things.
I think this is a fantastic time for you to reinstall TIE Fighter, because there's nothing good coming out this week to worry about.
Or Total Annihilation.
Oh, that, yeah. Oh, Warhammer
Yeah.
Quest. I'll give Warhammer Quest its credit. That's pretty good. But outside of that, no. Go play Grimrock 2, like I was supposed to and forgot to. I should probably do that. Yeah. All right, well, that pretty much wraps up the show, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed it. But before we go, we'd like to convince you that it's a good idea to go and watch our YouTube channel. Let's start with our guest, Mr. NerdCubed.
Can I use hypnosis, or I'll just...
You can try.
That could
I'll
work.
just-
What is coming on your channel? Why should people go and look at it?
I don't know. That's, I think, why you should go along. The only videos I know is today went up that bloody Unearth thing, and I played Cooler World, that beach ball PlayStation 1 game, because I fancied playing it, and that's pretty much it. I'm thinking of something Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX, 2, possibly at the
Yeah.
weekend. And that's all I have planned, really, for now.
All right.
I'm not one for planning. I'm one for just looking at my games and going, that one today. Whoop. It's a fun way to play.
Yeah, it's pretty much how I run my shit.
Are you convinced? Are you not entertained?
Dojo, what's going on your channel this week?
Anime bullshit all the
course it
time. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Naturally.
This is what we deal in on youtube.com/press start to continue. And I also have I also have a vlog channel, youtube.com/dexterity bonus, where I drink coffee and talk about my cats. And I would love for you to at least show up and watch a video, see if you're into it. If you're not, that's cool. But if you are, hit subscribe. And then on all the social medias, I'm at dexbonus, DEXBONUS. What, Jesse?
Nothing. Great sales.
What?
So prepared.
Thank you.
That was amazing. Especially coming
Jeez,
out
a lot of practice.
You're
I
so
want to do
good.
that again. I want another go.
Nope. Too late. It's too late. It's too late. You're
Oh,
done.
man.
You're done.
Oh, wait. Also,
DeLorean. Lego DeLorean. Totally forgot I was going to do that.
tonight, any of you who love manga, we do Manga Pod on Tuesday nights, and we're reading Hellsing. So if you want to come and watch us be a manga book club, it's on youtube.com/happily Aaron at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time.
All right.
Specific time. The
Specific
time. That
time.
is most specific.
Indeed.
DeLorean made out of Lego.
Jesse.
What the hell?
It's a DeLorean made out of Lego. It's brilliant. Look at that. I forgot I was going to mention that and I didn't. Yeah.
Continuing more Let's Play goodness. Do you want to see stuff get played? I play
Episode
it.
47 of Hinterland's Herb Gathering is on its way.
Watch yourselves. I learned a lot of things about love and relationships from Dragon Age. And, come join me.
Sexual
I
harassment
did.
is an effective way to get the girl of your dreams, because that's what
I
that game taught me.
I learned that if a woman
Jesus.
doesn't want you around, if you keep pestering, eventually she will.
Yep. That game
What I
is, like,
learned-
shocking in that respect. It really is.
What I learned. And, it's great. So stop by youtube.com/Jesse Cox.
All right. I might make videos this week. I know, I've not been making many. I've been a bit tired and such, as you might imagine. But I might make some. We'll see. I'll have a look at that Black Talon game if I can get a hold of it. That certainly seems like a good idea. I'll probably make something which explains my inexplicable wasting of time in Star Trek Online. I'll probably blame Dan entirely for it, because I'm pretty sure I started doing it after he put his fucking video up, and now I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
You should watch me because TotalBiscuit does.
I got,
Boom!
I got
There
10
we go.
levels yesterday. I don't even know where they came from, but I did. Like, that'll be at endgame soon. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do there. I might even have to join, like, a group of people to do things. It's going to be terrible.
Whoa, boo. No.
Boo.
Quit.
Got
Humans,
MMO and having to interact with people. What an awesome, awful idea. Outside of that, Hearthstone, because that makes money. And yeah, that probably is about it. Like, some WTF is, some Hearthstone. If there's any news, there'll be a content patch. That's how it goes. There is one thing I do want to remind people of, though. And I've got to remind myself of the date of it first so I don't fuck this up. There is a tournament that I'm going to be casting. It is a casual tournament. It's going to be based on the mod for StarCraft 2, which basically mods the next expansion into the game. It's the Legacy of the Void mod. So if you want a preview of what Legacy of the Void is actually going to be like when played by pro gamers before they completely change all of the balance a day after the tournament when we prove that it's horribly broken, then Sunday, January the 11th is the time you will see that. It's going to be kicking off early in the morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard. So that's going to be 2 p.m. in the British Isles, 3 p.m. Central European time. That will be 6 a.m. because fuck you, on the Pacific West Coast. But there will, of course, be VODs
I will
available.
not be tuning in from the beginning.
No, I don't think you will. But players are Alicia, Crank, True, Impact, MMA, the STC, Ryong, and Hart. So we've got a good set of players on there. It's going to be fun. I'm going to cast it, and we will see just how broken Legacy of the Void is. I would go with probably pretty fucking broken. So there you go. And we're also planning an Able Gamers charity stream, basically when I'm feeling up to it, and I will let you know when that's going to be. It will happen at some point this month, no doubt, but it will happen. And that's about it. Pretty much the stuff for the Co-Optional Podcast. Thank you very much for watching. Please do remember to follow us on Twitter. Twitter.com/TotalBiscuit, Twitter.com/DexBonus, Twitter.com/Jesse Cox, Twitter.com/NerdCubed. Please do that.
Yeah.
You might see things that you will like, although you may not.
You wish to unsee the things you will see.
Yes. Just, if we mention the word Tumblr or link anything that says Tumblr in it, do not click the link. Trust me.
Triggers.
You will be triggered.
You will be triggered.
Oh me, oh my. Please, right. Can I make my New Year's wish? Can I do that? Something that's going to disappoint me by the end of the year. 2015, please, fucking get a hold of yourself. God. Just 2014. You understand, right? You look back at it and you realize how dumb you were. Like, can you calm the fuck down? Please. It's all I ask. It's not too much.
No. And the void answered back, no.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
You've been watching the Corruption Podcast. We're done. Good night.
Yeah.
Bye.